I'm hoping we're live, because holy flip, we're flipping this one into a new set of fun stuff. What's up? BDS G2 today. No camera, because I look like crap. And I want to kind of have a bit more freedom on the mouse. So what I will do is, if you give me a minute to do something. There we go. I'm intrigued to see if the camera turns on. I believe we're live. Yes, we are. G2 BDS, 4 games. We're covering 3, and then we'll just GOL it. If you can't tell, I can't word today. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. We'll cover the first. We'll cover all the games in terms of the first win for each team, and then game 5. So yeah, bit of a late start to stream as well. So apologies on that. There we go. Anyway, I'm just getting my mouse ready. Let's go into our first one today. G2 BDS draft time. As always, draft time, fun time. I'm also gonna give myself a bit of nice Pokemon music in the background. 'Cause yeah, that's always nice. Let's get an extended soundtrack in the background. Always put Cassiopeia there, don't they, for me? I listen to it too much. Let's have some Arven. Let's have a bit of Arven. So there you go. You get to listen to my fun little tones alongside. That's a bit too loud. Alongside Arven's theme. And you know, I'm in a really good mood today. As realistically speaking, just drop that down. That's about right. Anyway, so let's get into game. Don't want to see that. And let's go. So draft wise, we're going in, and we're going in quite hard to draft because there's quite a lot in terms of options. So we're already through pick ban phase 1. Callista needs to be banned here if you're BDS, because that's a G2 first pick. Naut's removed. Zeri. Rakan's also prio. Azir. Who else? Ari technically is prio. But G2 have been kind of rocking the ASOL a lot. It's been Caps' go-to pick. But Rel also is open, so yeah, you kind of first pick that. You expect Rakan here, and Azir. Rakan Azir, good opener. But I think one big thing in the LEC has been less of a priority since playoffs on the Azir compared to other regions. It doesn't see as much in terms of first pick, but if it's left open available, it may make its way through to the second phase. Ori's also an option. I think G2 might actually pick it here on 2-3 to go alongside this Rel. Or ADC's Desire. Again, there's also Jinx up and available. I'm trying to think about the pool that Hans Sama has. It doesn't really reflect towards that. But Ori, Jinx, I think Ori will come through on 3 for BDS. Sorry, on 3. based on their current setup. But G2, I mean, they'll probably try to keep this rel flex open until here. This will be where the rel gets confirmed. Jinx comes through, so Hansama is going to be repping that. I think they'll probably save BB pick as well. They'll 3-4, because that's kind of the BDS strategy. They always counter pick for Adam, and they've done it through the years. And that is a full poke bot lane. Like, Varus and Ashe just harass for a long range. So, G2 locking in the Lulu's kind of interesting, because I would much rather have liked to have seen some more hard, heavy engage alongside this rel. Plus, I don't like the fact that you have kind of shown where your draft is going. So that on 1 would have been fine. Then saving support for here with top would have made more sense. But they're keeping... Well, they're basically matching BDS in terms of the draft. But mid laners left up and available. If Azir doesn't get banned here, I'll be very intrigued. Because top lane's the interesting one. Because I think the tops have been practicing matchups into one another that are the more of the uniqueness side of them. So, like, BB's been practicing in Olaf counters, and Adam's been practicing Zac and Rek'Sai counters that BB has been kind of playing. But, yeah, both mid laners essentially leaving up this Azir leads me to believe, well, G2 kind of would have to be the one to force the ban it on 3-4. But I think they baited it quite hard. And that is something they tend to do. ASOL has been raising it prior in LCK. We've definitely seen it quite a bit from like Faker and Showmaker as a pick. But, geez. The 4-5 lock-in for G2, you've got infinite scaling on both champs. Health-wise for the Sion, and then the extra damage from the Q and stuff for this Aurelion Soul is humongous on its infinite scaling. I like it as a whole, and it's going to be intriguing to see how BDS respond, because the way Sion early game works, if you've seen Adam play it, is an interesting thing. He tends to stack up with the jungler and go for an invade and then gank bot level 1. That's sort of his style, and try and burn the TP of the opposition. I don't think we'll actually see that out from BB. He's probably going to more so try to play... Well, while he may stick around with the jungler, he's probably going to try to play a bit more of a defensive style. I think that certainly would fit him more. And yeah, that's my initial take on the draft from... Well, he may stick around with the jungler. From both teams. So, expect an interesting start to the game. That's how I kind of see it with how G2 have drafted. They want to kind of cause their scaling champs to snowball a little easier in terms of utilizing this Sion to get aggressive and cause issues on the Rift. And I love that sign. When do we play? Hashtag KC win. Yikes. You expected to make it to playoffs? Anyway. Let's go. Game number 1. G2 on blue. BDS on the red side. The Anarchy Analysis match of the week. Also, the Uber Eats match of the week. Who knew? Let's look at how these teams are setting up. BDS grouping up as 5, going for an early invade. And this is kind of to counteract, all things considered, the possible level 1 Sion play. Now, we already were talking about how BDS utilized a Scion during last year, because I don't think Adams played it this year. But basically, last year, what would happen on red side, that was the typical thing. On red side, Adam would pick it. But the typical maneuver from a Scion was full invade onto blue buff. Onto the blue buff side of either thing. That's how Adam played the pick. He invaded down here so that, or up there, so that he could essentially steal raptors. A large eco pit or camp for junglers. They typically hit it so that they don't get the XP, they don't hit level 2 as quick, and realistically speak, or level 3, because it'll be on the wrap round to bot side. Now, the big other reason that BDS are doing this is, typically on red side, the Scion will come down here, take this, wrap round to Krugs, and steal them, and then go for the level 2 or level 1 gank on the bot lane. Essentially what BDS are doing are denying the play onto the bottom side of the map from G2. It means Scion can't go for a play here, and as such he has to, well, G2 have to play the other side. And I think G2 are kind of aware with this ward that BDS probably will go for an invade here. That's kind of the obvious thing. They expect it, whether it's through scrims or just the fact that it's a Scion thing. So they recognize the issue and they just go away. BDS realize, well, we're not catching G2 here, so they just wrap back round, and now they go up to the top side. They're thinking, okay, maybe this G2 squad has already gone in and invaded for this red buff. They're going to spot now G2 haven't done that. And they're covering their bases off here. And I like this considering it's a Scion. They know the Scions in this game, but G2 delay it. And the delay may not have worked out because the BDS squad catch them out as G2 go for the play. So the early game maneuver G2 tried to do was a maneuver that BDS do. And so G2 have been punished, giving over first blood, and a second kill over to BDS. So this early game going great for BDS because essentially G2 are running a play BDS 2. Now, this over aggressive, he's on his own, just hitting this Rel. And while Rel has quite a weak start, considering the W is the only form of engage, well, she's gone W, meaning that she doesn't really have the initial burst or stuns to kind of trap you and kill you. However, Broken Blade respawning typically means that G2 have the damage now, because this Scion can land a Q, but flash forward, it's 3 kills to none in favor of BDS. There's going to be a trade here. Broken Blade's going to get it. And now Caps finally joined up, as what we've seen is essentially Labrov getting 2 assists and a kill due to how he played the matchup. Broken Blade just wasted flash, and we're going to take a quick pause here and look at how the map is set up, because it's kind of interesting. Because of how First Blood went, both Big Boy Ice and Labrov roamed up top into here, so essentially they got the kill. Now, for the time it would take to reset and then go back to lane, well, granted they have taken a reset, G2 would have obviously have gotten... Well, they would have got pushed on bot side, so you can't really put your bot lane in the top half, or in the bottom half of the map. Because if we go back, I just want to see how G2 started lanes. So in actuality, as this is all happening, G2 initiated the lane swap by having Hans Sama come top. As it's also happening, Varus is coming up to the top side because he'll have pushed out bot side, and is a Dom. Where is the Dom on the map? I'm trying to look to see where the little Frenchman is. Don't know what I'm on about. But essentially, Hansama's top pushing. Dom is bot side. Mickey's bot side. This is an interesting map setup for G2. And already right now, Hansama started to roam down to go for the play onto Sheo, but decides not to. He instead takes his reset, as he knows that Varus has taken his reset and is already pathing top. So essentially, Hansama resets and he heads bot straight away. Like, no real other play. He heads bot. So what we're going to see is Mickey holding away for Hansama as he goes there. And then Hans comes in, picks up the minions. Lebrov's pathing down here. And this is the awkward situation. The top laner does not want to be in a 2v2 lane. He does not want to be paired alongside this Ashe, because he can't farm and Ashe really doesn't want to be farming. But anyway, if you look at this play, it's just very simple from BDS. They just catch Mickey, who walks too far forward. They bait him into the brush and just land enough damage. That then forces Broken Blade to respond, and he just dies. Simple as that. Nothing other than BDS do this play, and BDS know how to counter it. Simple as can be. G2 honestly could have responded because they knew that BDS walked up to the top side. However, they did not. Now, what we're seeing now is, I'm going to take another pause. Ice is trying to reset. He's crashing the wave in, but this is smart from BB. He's freezing it outside of turret range, meaning that the wave's going to stack up in favor of this Scion. That's huge. It means that it's going to slow push up to there, meaning more minions for this Scion. He's not losing as much farm. And he's essentially denying Ice's back. Because bear in mind, one I've already said is, this Aatrox wants to be in an isolated 1v1 matchup with the Scion to ascertain push and ascertain an even foothold. Now that he's in a 2v2 lane, it's an awkward situation where both the fact that he's sharing XP of the minions dying, and it's nigh on impossible for him to step up into the wave to farm due to the fact that this Lulu and Jinx will constantly harass him down. So BDS as a whole are in an awkward situation because their wave states suck. And so Ice's back has been cancelled. He's now coming to clear out this stacking wave and crash his minions into this tower. Meanwhile, BB is probably going to trade his health bar to deny it. And so he actually won't. He backs up, so never mind. Now we're in an awkward situation. This Aatrox, while is ahead in farm, and has a level lead over Hans and Mickey. Mickey's level 3 already, so he has access to Polymorph to render this Aatrox useless, as Yikes can come in for the dive. So BDS are in an awkward situation where they're trapped under tower. They are going to start to lose minions because Jinx can kind of bully him off the wave. And Broken Blade's just content. Farm. He gets to finally farm. Ice is taking a reset. Finally takes a reset. And he's heading bot side. This will free up Padom to go back. But I'm just interested. I'm watching the minimap right now to see if Mickey denies the back again. And it looks like he does not. So Adam's going... Oh boy, G2. The awkward thing about this situation is... Oh boy. Essentially, the minion push from G2 is just class. So, as Adam's gone back to base, and he is going up top, Broken Blade's taking his back now, as he's pushed his wave out. That's going to crash in, or deny a lot of CS away from Adam. G2's bot lane have crashed a wave into the tower. And as that's crashing, Ice is now losing CS. Instead, Lebrov's going to probably have to pick up a few. And G2's bot lane are backing. So, the timing that G2 are finding right now is so awkward for BDS to play that essentially Ice is going to start to lose out on CS more than he already is. He's already 10 behind. And there you go. Hans and Mickey immediately path up top. Mickey paths to mid because obviously this is the smart thing. As a support, while yes, the smart play is the kind of path here because then you can path either there or there. I also, looking at this reset timer, oh, it's so awkward. It's really awkward. Because now Lebrov's resetting as Ice is picking up the wave bot. G2 are just ahead of the curve in this early game, even if they gave over 3 kills. Like, it's so awkward for BDS to play this map. Because G2 are just avoiding them every step of the way. And so, Mickey heads into jungle because he can actually get vision down as grubs are spawning. Which is huge. Mid lane, we've left in isolation. It's just scaling lane. You don't need to care about that. But now, the awkward thing is, Lebrov has... Oh boy. Lebrov's reset. And that losing 2v2 matchup, BDS were trying to get out of. They've put themselves back in it. Because they have to. Because Ice is legitimately just reset to go bot side. And they'd lose more tempo if he returned to top in this state. Instead, he's just there to pick up the wave. He'll probably crash it into BB, who once again will sacrifice his health that he's just regened to deny the crash. And the big thing that stops the wave crash is Sion Z. The fact he can push the lead minion back just allows his minions to get slightly further up and deny a crash into a tower. G2 just are so far ahead of the curve, as you already see. He slowed the wave down with the E. He's now going to kill the minions. And Ice, yes, he's going to be able to kill the next wave and possibly crash a turret plate. But BB's fine with this situation, I guess. He is, sure. Behind CS. Behind 20. But Adom's forced to share XP every stage of this early game. And that is not ideal for him. So, the more important thing that I think BDS are realizing is the value of their TPs. I think in this situation, Broken Blade has obviously used his TP to kind of force this tempo of, or state of game in a continuous loop. Adam has saved his, and that's an interesting point. It means that if G2 or BDS wanted to force a fight early, they could. However, I'm not saying that's the most opportune moment or idea in this game. I think it's more so G2 are just... I don't think saving the TP is worthwhile in this state of game. Like, we're only 6 minutes in. TP can be burnt right now. But Adom's saving it for some reason. Bear in mind, 10 minutes you get Unleashed TP. I believe you get a little CSD. Or cooldown reduction. Once you hit level 10. If you've got it on cooldown. But yeah, personally I think this is a... Wait, is it on cooldown? No, it isn't. He should probably use it now. Nope. Oh, it is on cooldown. It's hard to tell. The icon looks full. Anyway. Enough said. He'll probably use his TP soon. But no. Mid lane, in isolation as is, managed to get push. Kind of expected as the 8 souls just been kind of being chilling, seeding pressure as oh boy, this is what I'm saying about G2's play. As soon as they see Adam, Hans goes top. As soon as that happens, BB's gonna go down to bot side and soak the wave. I'm watching Lebrov and he's kind of in limbo right now. So G2, realistically speaking, trying to avoid the 2v2 as long as possible. And Adom's getting punished for it. Yeah, BB's fine in losing CS. But as a whole, he's a Scion. He builds full tank. Aatrox in this comp's really there to be a backline threat. And he's not able to be said threat if he's being put behind by G2's bot lane. And now, with Yike shadowing, it's really hard for him to make a play. So, this dive, well, it's great to get a kill if they get it. Which, yeah, they will. It's a Scion. Zombie Scion's able to clear up the wave. And with Broken Blade's TP being up quite soon, he could obviously come back down. It's actually a really well orchestrated play if you think about it by BDS. Because essentially the engage happens because they see Yike top. So they force the play. And G2's response would be... what? A one-man response in this situation. They see actually 3 members top, so yeah, that means that G2 can't respond. Therefore, BDS make the play. As a whole, it's a very solid position for BDS to be in, considering the fact that they've just demolished G2's start. Anyway, let us... I say demolish G2's start. They're ahead for now, but we'll start to see a bit of a shift as Turret Plate's going to go into G2's bot lane. Awkwardly, I think a couple of plates may get shared by G2. So Mickey's going to get a bit of gold, but I think BDS is trying to give solo gold into this Varus. Now, obviously, G2 have the extra added bonus of Void Grubs. So they're going to do extra tick damage to this tower. They'll take 4 plates in total from it. I think they got 5, but they haven't killed the turret just yet. And once again, once it's low, they crash the last few minions in, reset, and this is where G2 just know what they're doing. So, smartly, what we saw G2 do, drop a ward here, because that guy won't catch this brush, but it will catch champions sneaking round here and going through lane. So, as a whole, Labrov hasn't really got a straight route to top unless he goes and through. Or up here and then there. So, the reason I say Labrov more than anything is because supports tend to go to jungle first, secure a bit of protection, deny junglers stealing away camps, keeping your buffs alive, all that jazz. So that's why you probably see Labrov go that route. However, what we actually see here is G2 pushing the wave in. They see Labrov. They also know that Nuke is missing. So they play respectful, back it up. Labrov's cleared out the ward. So G2 know Labrov's topside. So what do? Head to mid. They also know Adon stayed top. The wave hasn't crashed yet. So G2 send hands top. They also know Void Grubs, the second round of Void Grubs are spawning. So having Hand Sammer on the top side map is very beneficial to them. Because it should mean they secure 6 grubbies or 5 in total. Now, Sheo kind of realizes that. He goes up to the top side, forces Mickey out from the jungle, denies him entryway initially so that he can't deny it, go for a play. But here, this is an awkward situation where Hand could have been dove. Now, I don't like the fact that Sheo went to try and force the dive without forcing the dive. He has got Sky Splitter, so the Stormbringer could have been brought down on the turret and denied any damage from it. But G2 gonna walk in and just looking at Yike. Not gonna get the first grub. In fact, BDS's bot lane are up here. This is going to be the first time G2 and BDS's bot lanes are going to be in the same place at one time. Now, awkwardly, in this play, BDS are in a situation where they could have secured 3 Void Grubs for themselves. They've got their bot lane up here, who, let's be honest, a bounty's already on ice. 2 kills. While the items are pretty much the same, would still do a little bit more in the early game compared to the Jinx. There's just the extra damage from the poke initially would have been huge. However, volley early game strong as well. So BDS just playing respectful here, I think. And the reason I say that is because they don't know where Broken Blade is. So, while they do have ward here, they cleared out this ward. So they know G2 have wards in behind them. They're just worried that Broken Blade could TP in, maybe even caps, behind them and kill them. And they lose their lead. So, essentially, bit of respect from this BDS lineup, and they just back it the hell up out from there, and I like that overall from them. It does mean that essentially sorry, I'm also just saying something. It does mean that they do give up 5 Void Grubs to G2, who, as you've seen, are kind of forcing tempo plays across the map and making it hard for BDS to play it. That being said, Broken Blade, once again, he paths topside. He can step up this far. Use the E, deny the back. A little Void Grub spawns. And he's just going to force the wave to crash into this tier 1 and probably will secure it. G2 also tried to deny Ice's back yet again. And we kind of see a little bit of a normal lane matchup. But G2 already have forced the tempo play. They've got top lane tier 1. They've got a few plates bot. Ice and Labrov now show up bot side. G2 kind of are in a situation where they have to stay to deny the pushback from BDS. This is the first time in the game this has kind of happened to G2 slightly slower than they should be if they were to continue the added aggression. But yeah, now stuff gets awkward and normal laning has resumed. The only place where there's a gold leaf for G2 sits in the top side. Granted, it's minimal. But that TP ward, I was just about to highlight this guy. This is where G2 get to make plays. Because of the fact of the constant switching and swapping of lanes, vision in the actual lanes themselves from either team has to be essentially put down every time they go to a lane. And not all of it is getting cleared because of the threats coming in from the river that each team were kind of trying to force. Because the threat of a dive and a gank to stop the constant swapping is there. So, G2 realize, well, Adom's not really utilizing his teleport to respond to plays. Do we play a sacrificial play where we give this Aatrox a bit of gold, who granted is slightly behind the curve and tempo of the game because he's just been forced to sit in a 2v2 or 2v1 for most of it and not really have an impact because he's there to be a backline threat and can't really build full damage because he's been denied so much in terms of the gold that he needs? Or do we force a play bot, which is what we're actually seeing, onto this ward, and BB sacrifices more just to get his bot lane into this game? And yeah, the TP behind comes through, and G2 utilize BB's sacrificial style to get in onto this bot lane. Already, we're seeing issues with display from the BDS side as Varusel goes wide. They utilize a heal immediately to try and run past. But BB already gets in, ult, it's a double TP, so G2 are investing heavily for this play. And the more important thing is the follow-up for it. Drake spawned, this bot lane tier 1 is low. So G2 have options in this bot side. They get that, and maybe a bit of sprinkling of vision up there. That is 3 objectives G2 are playing for right now. 4 technically if you count the kill. So, as a whole, the sacrifice is what? Probably a tier 1 trade. In the long run. They traded tier 1 here for tier 1 here. That's the essential trade. They're giving equal sorts of gold to BDS in terms of that, except for first turret gold, obviously, over to G2. But they also are going to play for more. G2 are trading up here. And they get the crash down. They get Labrov, who I don't know if he had a bounty at the start of this play. He does not. He only has 1 kill and 3 assists. I thought he may have had one. Anyway, Labrov dies. And now G2 have 5 stack in the spot side. So either A, they continue to trade and chase down and go for more on that tower. Obviously, Ice plays respective and doesn't go in. Instead, G2 turn to the safer objective that they've earned for themselves by getting the kill and get themselves this Ocean Drake. They stop stacking, and now 4 members of G2 can come to this bot side. Flash from Mickey may seem a bit expensive, but it's all to set up the play onto the Varus. The shutdown comes through to Broken Blade. So the massive trading G2 have done is essentially gained there. And the sacrifice play that BB's given up kind of is being paid back with the kill. Now, I'm going to go back a little bit and just explain a few things. Firstly, why does Mickey flash? Well, he flashes in, so he gets close enough to Ice to land the Glitter Lance. That is the important bit. Glitter Lance applies a slow, meaning it makes it easier for Caps to do this big star. It also puts Ice in an awkward situation where he sees a very juicy target in this Lulu to try and kill. So, the other goal for Mickey is to try and polymorph Ice. And it means that A, Mickey can stay alive. It also means that Caps gets an easier star. So the star comes down, stun, flash from as it's guaranteed to land. Essentially, Broken Blade flashes forward to land the guaranteed Q. The shutdown comes through on top of it. And in this situation, G2 should be thinking, great. We've just gotten for ourselves 2 kills, a Drake, and I don't know if they got it yet, but the bot lane tier 1. That's brill. They should now back away slowly and not overstay, because TPs, respawns are quite short at this stage of the game. We're only 12 minutes in. So, they could immediately come back and respond. Here's the issue. The big issue that I can talk about here is Chokehold City. This area of the map, very tight. Very easy for AoE abilities to just dismantle a team. Aatrox has an AoE kit, so does Azir. Who TP's in behind G2? Aatrox and Azir. The perfect wombo combo. Now, Azir, we've not really seen too much, has been kind of unhindered in this game. So, full power Azir here. This comes in, Emperor's Divide, hits 2, and it kills Mickey because he gets trapped on the soldier. Broken Blade Hans Sama, now are in an awkward situation because Hans is kind of low. Cabs is trying to turn back, but realizes, oh, flip. Well, Hans is dead. I need to get another kill to make this play worthwhile. Because bear in mind, G2 have killed Ice, Labrov, and make it Labrov twice. So they've got 3 kills off this play. BDS got 2 in the long run of it. So a 3-for-2 trade favors G2. So they kind of trade up, even though it looks like an overstep. But as a whole, G2 get a bit more gold out of that play compared to what BDS do. And on top of it, G2 get to answer waves quite easily. And yeah, actually G2 don't lose the top lane tier 1. So G2 trade up even more. But as a whole, this is a very good play from G2. Up until this point where they just continue to trade Sluprov. Nuke obviously gets a good Emperor's Divide, killing Mickey and Hans from it. But yeah, what I will say is G2 still trade up. Even if the coaching staff look very scared because they realize the gold isn't shrinking. It's certainly an awkward situation where 1k behind BDS isn't much, but they do know there's still standing gold up for BDS, stably this top lane tier 1. And Herald now, because topside map kind of is an awkward situation to be in. Now we kind of hit this mid game. Static Shiv is picked up. G2 could contest this Herald. In fact, they will Smites on both junglers, but yeah, it's weird. BDS run away because G2 bring 4. Actually, it's full 5 members, I believe, up in this city. Yeah, all G2 brought 5 up to this Herald. BDS kind of are in an awkward situation when Nuke doesn't have TP, so he has to stay bot. Yeah, G2 just bully out BDS on the map. So G2 continue to get objectives, while BDS in a farming state where they just try to farm. As we come back to live, Caps, he's got the trade. It's a 1-for-1. Overall, that's worthwhile. The minions get deleted as well, so Hans gets a few more bits of gold in his back pocket. Yeah, I think that's worthwhile for G2. 2 members invested bot side, so by BDS for tier 1. But BB, while this is happening, is starting to get pressure onto the tier 2. G2 aren't actually coming down too quick for this play. Instead, they're hovering mid. They've obviously got the tempo of Herald, so they can drop that in the mid lane if needs be. Crash open the mid lane tier 1. But BB getting that tower incredibly low. I'm pretty sure Nuke will clear out the wave before it kills it. So no tier 2 gold for this Scion, who actually has done well to kind of right his ship. Considering the fact that he's sacrificed a lot, he's certainly keeping up in terms of tempo. And he's kind of split his gold with Hansana. So G2's gold, while not necessarily truthful of how the game state is, they're certainly at the stage of the game where, well, both Ice and Hans are fairly equal in terms of the gold. Broken Blade's getting towers for the team. G2's got multiple avenues of playing this game, to be honest. They can play a split push style, which they've kind of been doing with their constant lane swapping, forcing awkward matchups, as well as their objective control style, which they've done well. They've gotten themselves... They've denied Drake stacking by splitting the first 2 Drakes. 5 Grubs plus Herald. G2 certainly have the advantage in the objectives column. This is an issue for BDS if you think about it. Because what is their realistic engage? It's a run at you comp. So they have to come towards you if they want to engage. Azir has to slide towards you. Volley has to run at you if they want to engage. They could fire a long range arrow and tag you, but no, it's not necessarily the most opportune of plays. Now, what we just saw there was G2 trading top lane tier 2 for Drake. So this is a big thing I think other teams in Europe tend to ignore. Is how you play a map. Essentially, in a state like this where you're either A, behind, or have the ability to cross map, you should take it. You know BDS are on this Drake as it spawned. You weigh up the advantages of contesting the Drake. Well, firstly, it's Cloud Soul. What is the benefit of Cloud Soul to me? Lower CDR. Already you look at G2 and their cooldowns, they're fairly low. Like, in terms of spells. The only one that I think is a very long spell, apart from ultimates obviously, is Aurelion Soul's Flight. Sorry, or E, in this stage of the game. So, taking that into account, if they kind of contested every Drake here, G2, and stole away them, sure, they get something. But instead of standing around watching, looking for an opportunity to steal, they're making a play on the other side of the map for a tier 2. Which is huge because that's instantaneous gold versus a potential permanent buff. Instant gold gets you a permanent buff. Just saying. And so G2 take themselves a tier 2 top. They ascertain lane control up there. They can now, as Baron spawning, litter the topside jungle with vision, force BDS to utilize their sweepers and control wards to reclaim their own jungle. And as a whole, make it very hard for BDS to go into their side of the map. Now, while it hasn't necessarily resulted in making BDS scared to enter their own jungle, it has forced them to utilize all their sweepers, as they're all on cooldown. And now G2 can relay all the wards that they just cleared out, because look how many blue trinkets they've got. They've got 3 with 2 sweepers versus 4 sweepers, 1 blue. And the fact that G2 obviously did that, it means that they can now drop Herald mid, force a clump out of BDS to try and respond to it, and G2 don't even need to ride the Herald themselves to get a decent chunk of damage. Kind of evens the mid lane tower damage up, all things considered. As that's happening, the super duper long lane top gets responded to by Broken Blade. He's just going to force that up. Obviously, that's going to try and drag BDS members up to him. Probably going to expect a Dom, which he is, to go clear it out as the minions die. Broken Blade hovers. I'm intrigued because a Dom utilized World Ender there. We just saw a glimpse of the end of it. So that's something, to say the least, out from a Dom. Maybe it was a misclick, who knows. But essentially, he's still... well, he's just utilized his abilities. It's now... we get to an awkward state. Of just sitting, relaxing, waiting for Drakes. Because I think we'll start to see these two teams group up a bit more. Contest objectives. As you would expect them to. But yeah. BDS gonna secure the scuttle, the big scuttle, as Drake spawns in 2 minutes. That's gonna last for its initial spawn. So they're gonna have, well, they should have river control for a while now. Up until the objective spawns. G2 gonna have to battle their way into the river. And yeah. Broken Blade caught out, gonna not be hit by the Q3, so still stays fairly tanky. And mid's already seeing pressure from BDS, who group up as 5, gonna burn the 2 TPs out from G2. That's huge. And while, yeah, you probably want to see G2 grouping up for this Drake in a minute 20, it is a massive gain for BDS, because essentially BDS now have full TP control. They don't technically need to contest this Drake. G2 don't either, but essentially BDS get free push inside, and you can already start to see it, but the Dom's gonna go here, push. Nuke gonna go here, push. Simple as you like, a very easy play. Considering they just bring 5 members, or bring 4 members mid, and get, or multiple members mid, get 2 TBs out from G2, and while G2 now get to utilize the play and get mid-tier 1 for themselves, which is great, BDS trade it for a tier 2 in top, solid wave push in bot. Like, this is huge. If Azir can put tower down here in the bot lane, very worthwhile for him. But I dare say he won't, or save it and put it mid as he regroups with his team. But obviously, with Drake spotting in 30 seconds, resets come through across the board. Cap's gonna go topside. Kind of smart one because he can join up quite easily with the team with the flight. Whereas Broken Blade probably gonna sit with the rest of his team as he goes back and resets. So Drake is up, but BDS and G2 aren't focused on the Drake. They're focused towards this Baron pit. Because the threat of Baron is still technically there. Azir, Volley, and Varus. All of BDS are really good at taking Baron, actually. Minus the Aatrox. So, they can essentially force a play for it. Meanwhile, G2 kind of have to respect that, as the Singularity dropped down, Labrov chunked heavily. Sorry, that's not even Labrov, that's Ice chunked heavily. Meanwhile, Mickey forced to polymorph himself. Damage being put down across the support, as well as onto the top and jungle of G2 and BDS. The two teams really have kind of avoided full 5v5 combat since level 1, to be honest. That level 1 flurry of action. But now, BDS, they bully G2 away into their own jungle, and they're now starting to utilize their advantage. The big advantage, though, that we've kind of ignored. Hold on. What? Yes, we're kind of seeing a pick-off. Caps has... What has Caps done? And I say that in all the niceness, but he's got himself 2 kills. But that in isolation should not have happened. It does not feel like he deserves to be up 1.1k. Because we haven't really had chance to talk about Caps' performance, but I guess he killed Labrov a couple times. And Ice, I think. Or did that kill go over to... That kill went over to Mickey. No, to Broken Blade, sorry. So yeah, that gold lead's kind of surprising, to say the least. Also, the fact that Ice's lead's been kind of stopped. Which, we were talking about how the early game, BDS were trying to just feed Ice the gold that he kind of was essentially given because G2 refused to lane against him. So yeah, there's technically... There should have been a bit bigger of a lead, I feel, on Ice, but he's been just stagnated by G2. As just taking a look at abilities, obviously the arrow was just fired out, so but that's okay. It's on such a low cooldown. BDS will have that back up soon. G2 looking, that's a crash down from my Yike. He's just deleted. Got no health. Got no smite now, G2. The volley's coming through, slowing down G2. Cleanse out from Hand Sammer. But that Singularity does so much damage. But this chase down, Mickey being ran down by Ice. This Varus hunting, looking, but overstepping G2. Get a 1-for-1 trade. But the Baron on the plates for BDS. The overchase, some may say, put two G2 members in the bot side. Broken Blade, though, he's here. Yike has respawned, but this Baron is dropping quite quick. The rocket comes out. G2 probably going to look for the kills as Sion steps into the pit. How do BDS get out? They're forced to burn their flashes. That's 4 Barons over to BDS as they catch out G2's jungler and punish the play. Now G2 realistically can just walk in and take this Drake. That's the caveat for the play for BDS. They don't get soul point. Instead, G2 get the objective. And we watch this play again. Simply put, over-aggression from Yike. He gets the flash out from Nuke. But surely you'd expect the flash out from the Azir. Instead, no punish as he just ran straight at him. Seemed a little dumb, all things considered. His singularity was also dropped. G2 weren't going to get anything out of that. Just seems like a massive misplay, all things considered. So, back to live. Baron on BDS. Gold lead sitting quite firmly on them as Yike looks to catch out this Volibear, trying to run away through the singularity. But G2, they've invested quite a bit. 3 ultimates now into this big bear, but he's able to stay alive with the healing. Nuke gonna get the kill for himself onto Yike yet again. This Rel seems to be over-chasing a little bit too much. As G2, they're hungry. They need kills. They're at the stage of the game where they are outscaling BDS, but they're just unable to get the kills needed to put them to bed. As a whole, we need to take stock of items. Never mind, we get to watch a replay. Ash Arrow lands onto Caps, but you see Yike has Hex Slash, so he's there to peel. Zhonya's was also used there by Caps, or Seekers. So, because that was used, Volibear runs away. He gets a massive heal from the W. He also Sky Splitters and gets the healing up. Massive health boost from that. Overall, that's pretty huge. As Caps is rooted in place, he's stunned. Taken to a half his health bar. G2 can't contest this tower push because Caps is so low. And that's one issue that G2 kind of lack. Without Caps, they've realistically got no wave clear. It's very minimalistic because Hans has to step up into the wave and kind of sacrifice his health bar if he wants to take away any of these minions. As that's a huge ulti burnt by G2 there, getting the World Ender out. But the game starting to pick up 6-9, nice, in kills. G2 on the back foot. BDS certainly have picked up the tempo after catching Yike overstepping in a fight. I think that's the best way to word his play. But yeah. Side lane control for BDS. Mid lane control for BDS. G2 kind of forced to respond to waves. As we just take stock of items. Top side, 3 completed for this Aatrox. Versus the 2 tankier items. The Jak'Shao, Sunfire Cape combination for this Sion. Obviously going to be very tanky. He's also got a few different, few extra consumables in there. I'm actually surprised we don't see a Bramble or any form of Grievous Wounds on G2 yet. Because that healing from the Volibear was very disgusting in that last fight. Also, the Aatrox starting to get the lethality, going to have a bit more healing. I'm actually really surprised that Broken Blade doesn't have any. Instead, going to get the Caden's online, get that magic shield to deal with the Azir. So you can kind of step up inside lane to him and force maybe a bit more of a wave clear situation. So as a whole, Broken Blade can just sit inside for a bit and not really die. Now, I think we're just waiting for Drakes to spawn. That's the state of the game. 40 seconds until Baron as well, so we'll be waiting for that guy. G2, Broken Blade in particular, stepping forward. Gonna pop the Edge of Night off of this Varus. That's one huge item that we see across 3 members of BDS. G2 need to pop them if they want to go full CC chain mode onto any of these carries for BDS. They've already popped one off onto this Varus. If they get Labrovs, if they get Adams, they've got Labrovs, G2 probably could start to look for a play. Off to the side, Yike being ran down by Sheo, but in the backside, Sion has got in, but he is playing bodyguard to allow his backline to free fire in and get the shutdown onto Adam. Now the chase down continues as the Sky's descent comes through. Aurelian Soul is cooking as the Spitfire from this dragon roasts away the health bars of BDS. That's 3 kills over to G2. They get to Soul Point, and that should be Baron to boot. Anyway, Nuke could be caught out here. Does have TP if he needs it to get away, but G2 will get Baron and back out of play-by-play because we finally, well, first bit of fighting in a long time, let's be honest. G2 kind of have stagnated the game. They've kind of done a rogue, minus all the lane swapping, of just stalling it out. So watch this again. All the Edge of Knights are gone. So G2 turn onto Ice and force him away. So it means that Adam, as he tries to step forward and melt away the health bars of G2, just gets deleted. Sky's Descent, simple as that. Just does so much damage. The stun was avoided, but Labrov just was bursted out completely. Bad flash from Shao. Don't think he was going to get away. It's kind of wasting that summoner. I'd much rather have saved it for, well, what would he have saved it? Any inevitable catch out if G2 overstepped. But this Baron's less of a game-winning Baron. It's more so a self-writing Baron for G2. I think is the best way to word it. Because while, yes, the game has felt G2 controlled, like G2 are forcing every maneuver, BDS certainly have started to get a bit their own footing in with their last Baron. And now, as G2 set up inside, they've gone 4-1. I mean, they are just going to leave Caps in the side on his own. Does have TP. You've got Broken Blade with TP. But Broken Blade has to be with the rest of his team to front line to push the wave in to force BDS back. Because Sion just doesn't give a fuck, let's be honest. Too much health already at this stage of the game, so he won't get bursted out. He's also got a massive shield. As the Rel's caught out Aatrox yet again. Down the Skies descend. And G2 get the pick. Nuke now tries to catch Caps out and will get the shutdown. Puts the turret down for good luck, but and Sama free firing in, gonna get a shutdown. G2 peel away, using the get excited to quickly rotate to the bot side. They're gonna get themselves a tier 2 off of this play. And G2 quite happy in a 2-for-1 trade. Broken Blade stands in front of his backline, doing the due diligence to allow them to crash the waves in. get this inhibitor to boot. The inhibitor tower also fell, and this Jinx, the attack speed boost coming in from this Lulu, just free firing in. G2 are in behind BDS, and the front line, the back line that BDS once had no longer exists. The damage is not there. G2, Hands has fallen. G2 are out of there. They've realized they've overstayed, and they've realized that they could be punished. Dom TP's behind Broken Blade, but this is a sign with Jack Shao. He does not care. He just stands in your face. The Q lands. Aurelian Soul shows up, and he burns through the health bar as it's overstay after overstay, and G2, they get another kill onto ice. Continuing the chase down, Lebrov gets melted away as Nuke shows up. Emperor's Divide gets flashed away. G2, they're just catching them one by one. They all fall. BDS, what are you doing? This game was close up until that moment where you TP behind one-man armies. Does not work. And I'm gonna be honest, I like what we're about to witness if we get a replay of that fight. I like what Douglas says. Nuke went bot. He realized that there was no play to make there. He saw the respawns from G2 were coming up. He knows how quick this G2 squad is in terms of their rotation. So they don't overstay, they don't overpush. Instead, now G2 are the ones to push into the base. Already Shao taken incredibly low, also forced to ult, and now BDS on the hunt. They force the world ender. And Dom, your ulti not going to be up and available as Drake has spawned. G2 going to hopefully secure themselves a free and easy Cloud Soul, baby. BDS unable to contest, unable to do much now, and this is just weird considering the fact that they were matching G2 early. This late game has just fallen to pieces, and this is a 37-minute game. Is this a sign that BDS can't play scaling? Is it they can't match late game scenarios? Only time will tell, as obviously they entered the lower bracket. They've got one final chance after this matchup, obviously. But look at that goal graph. That really does tell you something. Past 30 minutes, really, G2 have fought back, controlling the momentum of this game, controlling when the fights happen, and BDS just unable to respond. G2 now a Cloud Soul. You think about it, a fast firing dragon towards you, certainly going to do a lot of damage. Shao has been outscaled, unable to step forward, and Nuke getting caught out. The Sky's Descent comes through, and Caps is on a rampage. They spot in the mid lane, and it's Ashe yet again, and this is very familiar. Aurelian Soul burns through the health bar, and G2 hunting the Q from the Rel lands in the triple for this goddamn A-Soul. Just lands another kill. The Quadra to boot. Looking, hunting for the Penta. You can already see it. You can sense the dragon flies. He's hunting for Shao. Outscaled, outlived, and burnt to a crisp. Caps will secure. You have to feel this pentakill, the singularity drop. That's a pentakill to Caps in the upper bracket final. G2 win game 1. That was an interesting first game of the day. I'm surprised, to be honest. Nice. Which is the first game the BDS win? They have to win game 2 or 3. Because we're skipping one. So BDS win game 2. Cool.
G2 their first.
We're skipping game 3, essentially.
For that reason, that's why I feel champ.
That's a simple way of winning it. Anyway, game 1 done. Game 2, here we go. Give me a minute. Boop. Boop. Sorry. Oh, my nose has gone all weird. Don't know about you. I just need to quickly change something. I also need a drink, because holy moly. It's an interesting game so far. Anywho, let's go. Game 2. What is being cooked up by G2 and BDS? So, already, I see something interesting. Obviously, G2 are on red, BDS on blue. I keep saying G2 first. Don't know why. I mean, technically, alphabetically wise, Team BDS comes after G2 in the alphabet. But as a whole, let's look at the bands coming in from pick band phase. Draven, TF, Callista, Vi, Zeri, Rel. So G2 were the first team to make a change. They banned the Rel, realizing it's quite powerful. They don't want to allow that over into Cheryl's hand or Labrov's hand. So what happened? Well, pick one. The interesting stuff that tend to get picked first, in BDS's case, will be... What is there? There's usually a first pick that everyone goes to. Rel. That's usually the first pick. I think there's also... I mean, if Rel's banned, you tend to go Rakan, don't you? But I think Volley was priored by... Volibear's prioritized by BDS, excuse me for sneezing. There's also... See, I always want to say Rakan, but no. Excuse me. It's cold here. I also cycled home today, so I'm very tired. And doing a 5-game series isn't the best. So Volley gets locked in here. G2 can respond with that bot lane Jinx again. Continue to lock in that. You can then lock in, I mean, mid if you want to, but I think support Nautilus is up and available. That would then leave, like, Azir again. And I guess Rakan? Or Ashe. Then you go to 4-5. I don't think you locked Scion here. I know you technically don't talk about hovers. Instead they're flipping it to Jax. Okay, so they locked their jungle. It feels like it's a jungle pick. More than anything. Talia was banned game 1 in the second rotation. It'd be interesting to see if it gets locked in. Obviously, there is obviously Nautilus up, but they're gonna go Lucianami. I think you do slam if you're G2 Naut here, yeah. You have to. It just makes the most sense. So G2 overall have a lot of heavy engage with the Nautilus, and then you've got the follow-up from this Jax. That, realistically speaking, this Lucian Nami aren't able to auto-attack down. See, G2, I like Jax into Lucian constantly. So, if you're G2 here, I think you have to be wary of a Poppy, though. Steadfast Presence, obviously very powerful. But maybe not. I think, what is there left up and available? Rek'Sai, that's going to go. I think Zac may go. If we're banning tops. Mid's also up and available. I think you ban Ori or Azir if you're G2. Yeah. Ori the most sense because Nuke plays that so well. And you force him onto this Azir, which you've just beaten with Aurelion Sol. I think G2 quite happy to lock a Sol every game. So, personally, I think G2 lock in top here on 4, then counterpick for caps on 5. Because the bans are leading towards counterpick 4 mid for G2. However, he may just be happy to just blind pick out ASOL into BDS. Yeah, he's actually going to lock Talia. It was hovered cheekily in the third pick for BDS. G2 actually are going to throw the gauntlet down. It is a similar pick to ASOL, all things considered. Both have heavy roaming tools. Both have a lot of poke. Except I just prefer ASOL in current mana because he's so much better at navigating the map and just having an out and out full burst combo that is almost guaranteed to hit every time in late game with the Sky's Ascent. But BDS round out their draft here. Azir comes through yet again. This time into the Talia. That's a bit more of an earlier game battle. I think Azir in later stages will win out. Gragas for BDS. I mean, looking at G2's comp overall, there is quite a bit of squishiness if you get onto Talia and the Jinx. Quite easy to burst them out. I've got a feeling the add-on will go full AP Gragas. BB's Cassante. I mean, it's an interesting pick, all things considered, in this situation. Cassante into Gragas does favour. I mean, early game, the Gragas will be favoured. Just because Cassante doesn't have this insane amount of damage reduction that he'd get. But as this situation is, I'm gonna say BDS fairly well happy with how this game has gone or will go. I think they've got a better overall draft. I am surprised they went full AP topside map. Does make you susceptible to Cassante just building mercs and cadence first and just being an absolute menace where you can't really do anything into him until Lucian Army joins in. So the team shifts sides of the map, and will we see crazy fun times from G2 in game number 2? Hands and Broken Blade hovering topside. Pretty sure Hands will have been spotted there. Mickey hovering bot side. In fact, it's a fan of 5 just in weird positions from G2. Just took a quick look at summoners. First strike for Nuke at Ice. Interesting. Grasp Gragas, so more than likely won't be AP. More than likely will be tank. Build. I'm intrigued by first strike for Ice, because that leads me to believe that he's expecting to be lane swapped. Yet again. But G2 will match bot lanes. Have this time a bit more heavy engage, a lot more utility level 1, so they can match them quite easily, I think, as a hook comes through. Just trading damage onto supports. As expected. But as I'm looking at this, yeah, Mickey's just trying to get aggressive level 1. But BDS going to hit level 2 first. So G2 probably going to play respectful. Not overstep. And yeah. The matchup's looking good. BDS early. And that's something that's quite surprising to look at. Mid lane will try to favour Caps early. He'll try and get out on the map and affecting the lanes and getting gold that way. I think bot lane should be a prime target for him, to be honest. Try and get down there. Lucian Army gonna probably have constant push into Jinx Naught. And because of that early pressure, we're already seeing Cheo go for an invade. Because Lebrov's already able to wrap down. Ice also showing up. Smite comes through from Cheo. He's going to steal it away. As Mickey's flashing in, going hook hunting. But he's isolating himself into Ice. First blood over to BDS. G2. Yikes. If you have to look at that play, your jungler goes out as you go in. Never going to result in you surviving. Mickey obviously playing Nautilus. Not only has one direction, and that's go in. You can never go out once he goes in. So he gets punished. Also wastes both sums. Granted, he does have Hex Flash. So not going to be punished overly too much. Unless BDS set up a tower dive level 4. Because Cheo's already level 4. But I don't think he will. Probably going to look more for the Void Grubs at level. Well, whatever. But yeah, he's probably going to look for Grubs. So there we go. I'm also just looking to see. The fact that G2 have managed to secure a bit of a push in the bot side, kind of surprising. Probably Ice and Lebrov just seen a bit of pressure to allow the wave to come out, so that they can actually get a bit of damage down onto G2. That will also make it a bit easier for Cheo to go for a flash play. But I highly doubt it, as he's backing right now. But yeah. And to answer your question, no, I am not sick. Just a bit cold, that's all. Anywho, just watching this right now. Caps roaming, level 5. But this tower dive's actually quite potent, to be honest. If G2 did, or if Caps did have level 6, a Dom would have probably died because Broken Blade's hit level 6 already. TP going to be invested by presumably both tops. I'm just... Broken Blade not actually TPing, fair enough. That does surprise me. Obviously he did probably crash the wave, so it's on a bounce back more than anything. So, realistically speaking, G2 actually doing quite well there. Considering full reset out from Broken Blade, Yike getting grubs there is quite huge. Because there was no real cover for him if Adom and Shao showed up for the play. And, I mean, to be honest, the burst coming out from them two would have been quite high. Good flash from Caps. As bot, LeBron's just dead. Kill goes over to hands, he gets excited, so this wave's going to die quite quick. It is quite surprising Ice is stepping up this far forward, considering he's got no protection. But G2, like last game, playing for objectives. And that's a interesting shift of styles, I think. Well, last game they were swapping lanes constantly in order to then get objectives off the back of it. As Mickey's dead. Just a hot come through. He's dead. Brov's getting the kills a bit of a yikes, but wave dies, but Sky Splitter, yeah, tower shut off. Easy peasy. And the kill actually this time goes over to Ice. So the gold lead on the bot side going to continue to grow, and it's going to be very hard for G2 to deal with it. And this is where you start to look towards your superstar mid laner, Caps, getting out of lane to try and force plays. But in this situation, Yike can't join in. He was looking to just wrap around and go for a play, but Caps is too far away. So it would always be a odd man advantage for BDS in that situation, even if TPs came in. As top, we Pam back up there. I'm very intrigued in the fact that Broken Blade's actually got a CS lead, but early game Cassante, it's just Q spam city, isn't it? I don't want to reference the copy pasta, but it is. As bot side, Caps is onto Ice. They've isolated Illusion, but he's just able to burst and fall. I think that's just target selection at its finest. Coming out from BDS. That situation. Just very easy for them to deal with. Also now, Newt gets mid push. Caps has to see pressure. Broken Blade, gonna be okay. Not gonna die to tower. Do you need the covers, Baba? Yeah, I know. I'm just stealing my blanket away from my dog because it's getting late. Hey, Baba. Yeah, you can tell it's a Taiwan tonight. No webcam, just chill vibes watching G2 BDS, breaking it down. We gonna get a replay of that diet of the. Did we get one? Don't think we did. Let's force our own. So let's look at it from my perspective. Anyway, so this play, realistically speaking, already off to a bad start for G2. Hans is being chunked completely by the culling. So that's also section him, forcing him back to an awkward situation. So as Cap shows up, because Hans is technically out of range of the fight, he's useless unless obviously he uses Zap. BDS immediately turns on to the Nautilus. So they're already ahead in this play by a lot. And you just look how they're positioned. Labrov here out the way. He's able to still influence because he can put E down onto ice. He can Q from this range. He can W and get multiple ebb and flow bounces. Realistically speaking, that's perfect for him. They're playing their ranges perfectly here, BDS. And so, as Caps comes in, the damage has already been done. Mickey's got no way of escaping because he's already being thrown down by Shao. The volley bear just does enough. The wall makes this weird because it's two individual 2v1s. It's a fully itemizing, doesn't have to sacrifice any gold volley bear. This is a support and an ADC who are very low, whereas Caps is dealing with a full health bot lane who can just buff each other up. I'm taking a volley bear in this fight because Ice utilizes his cleanse to get out from the seismic shove, immediately focus Mickey, who just can't do anything in here. Shao backs away, so there's no one really for him to target. He can't hit Ice because Caps has kind of screwed him. So BDS get a free and easy kill. No flash on the Nor either, so what can they do? It's just a unfortunate event for G2. Anyway, back to where we were. Gold lead in top lane. That's the easy summary we can go for after a couple minutes. So, while that also happened, what we saw was Nuke just ascertaining pressure mid. Crashed a wave in for a little chip. And the thing about Talia is the fact she should have early game power, pressure in lane, in order to allow herself to roam and affect the rest of the map. Because she goes for that roam, she then sacrifices lane pressure. And now, BDS know full well that, well, none of G2 can be in a position to respond to a play because they're topside. Go for their own play and, yeah. 1-for-1 trade. Let's make it a 2-for-1 in favor of BDS. Hands on the wrong side of the map. But Capson's matching the roam from Nuke, which is overall a really good play from G2's mid laner. And so, as that play happens, it's a misplay from Nuke yet again that I think he's done multiple times this year, where he's gone into a play where the number advantage favors the opponents, regardless of if he TP'd in or not. So, he sacrifices quite a lot here, Nuke. And I think that's a bad utilization of his skill set. I think he needs to adapt to situations and not burn summers like that too often. Because This is certainly not the first time I've seen that this year. And what I essentially mean is, it's just more so game knowledge or common sense in some regards of knowing if you can actually protect the carry, and if I TP in, what is the benefit of doing this? What is there to gain? In that situation, it was a kill, or a kill back and then staying alive. This situation, in the actuality of the situation, as good kill there by Adom. The actual situation was him getting a kill back and then dying. This situation's slightly better because he gets clear wave. Jokes. He gets absolutely nothing for this play, by the way, roaming up. I mean, sure, you clear out a bit of the wave, but G2 still have 3 members top. And you're going into a 3v2 technically with Lebrov. It's just slow reactions to plays that result in you being punished, as bot side Dom not going to get killed here. Just Broken Blade using the ultimate. Bullying this Kragus a little bit. So, where are we going back? Is this the first one or the second? It's the second, because that hook was nuts. Another Weaver's Wall gets caps into play. Mickey tanks one too many tower shots and gets hit by a cask. That's the simple explanation of that kill. Here, Adom's just trying to stay alive, sustain as long as possible with his kit, so Nuke can arrive. Nuke arrives, but yeah, he's gonna get punished because Jax just dives him, and easy peasy G2 get another kill in response. So in a whole sense of that play, it was a 2-for-1 trade in favor of G2. That's the excellent explanation I can give. Simple. So, let's take a look at how things are shaping up. Firstly, bit of a gold lead in favor of BDS. And you can't say it comes from turret plates. G2 got more plates. And I think that's huge, as Mickey's dead. If he didn't flash. Good flash, I guess. Ice not going to overstep and chase it down. Also, I'd like to point out Imperial Mandate now onto this Nami. So, Dissolution's going to be an even bigger menace, considering he's on 2 items. 2 items, and he's going the crit route, or the attack speed build. Less lethality early game, but more so the effectiveness of matching the pressure this Jinx can put down. Because bear in mind, Jinx always goes static shiv to get the extra attack speed, get the easier wave clear. Solutions matching it essentially so that he can basically match wave clear and not have to necessarily deal with the continuation of a play. As good flash out from Lebrov to avoid the Naut hook. Another Naut hook goes wide, and now G2 forced to run away. No engage, no ability to get in apart from this Naut hook, or just running at them with Jax. But that's what BDS want you to do. Their comp, very slippery, a lot of dodges, a lot of movement, and so it's very hard for G2 to punish, as once again we go to bot side for no reason. Top laners doing top things and just winning out on the side lane of just doing stupid, hitting each other for a tiny bit of damage to make themselves have more damage than the opponents, or anyone else in the entire game. Now, interesting to note, G2 very late to the response, as they took resets, so that allowed BDS to get push in mid, as well as secured mid lane tier 1. So G2 are now thinking, well, we need to start to look for players of our own. Mickey's dead. The culling perfectly layered there by Ice. He missed, what, 2 bullets, 3 with the culling. Just clean, crisp execution. Gets up to 4 kills. He's also not even got completed boots, which is the other surprising thing. I think if he had completed boots, he would have probably kept all them bullets onto Mickey. And G2 lose their support. Gonna lose this 3rd Drake of the game, you have to feel. Yike, not gonna step up, I don't think. Hit by the bubble. Never mind, G2 stepping up. The Weaver's Wall gonna do so much work as G2 delete 2 members. They get the shutdown onto Ice. Where did that health bar go? TP's gonna come through to the top side. G2 trying to excel the tempo. Obviously, they've got a quite early game comp that, to be honest, actually that TP seems wasteful now. Caps didn't need to TP. That does feel weird. Also, TP was used there by Nuke. So, don't know how that was done. Anyway, bot side G2 gonna get another tower. I hope we get a replay of that fight. Yes, we do. So, taking a look at it, just keep your eye on Ice. Steps. We're not gonna get a replay of the fight. I'm gonna force a replay of this fight. Who cares about Nuke dying? He's dead. Cool. Let's get a replay of that fight, shall we? So, how is it set up? Well, essentially, at first, you're thinking, BDS, easy, secure this objective. They've forced G2 out the area. They've littered the jungle with vision. And there's no way G2 can get a steal here. There's no way G2 can do anything. They're behind in gold. This should be BDS's. G2 are like, nah fam, we're stepping in. Hook lands, and that's the important thing. They're hunting for Sheo, and this has been their constant trend, I think, since game 1. Because game 1 they did this. They bursted out the tank. This volley bear just keeps getting its health bar chunked completely. And so, the Weaver's Wall initially was trying to section the volley bear away from its team and get the pick. As Mickey turned immediately onto him. But the Sky Splitter comes out, he jumps over the wall, and BDS are in that situation where, okay, we need to peel away. Broken Blade, though, he's in a perfect position to come in, just F shit up. And essentially, Ice would have had to have used Cleanse. But Nuke's also there. Well, Nuke's TPing it behind, actually. Nuke's not there. Okay, that makes us different. So, this is an awkward situation where BDS are like... They could be like, just buy time. Wait for our mid lane to get in, because there's a massive ulti there on the table as G2 are kind of grouping up. Like, if Nuke got here, slide in, and then just whoosh the wall there. That's a 5-man or 4... No, it's 4-man because Broken Blade's there. It's a nice 4-man into the wall. The tidal wave to buy time as Nuke arrives. This is looking like such a good fight for BDS in this situation. But G2 do G2 things and burst the target immediately. They turn on Show, force him away. And he's just bursted as Nort ult comes down onto him. I'm turning this to slow mo because I don't know how Ice gets deleted. It looked like a seismic shock. So he's stepping forward. He's culling. Cancels it. Nort ult lands onto him. Rocket into seismic shove or rock throw from Talia. There's certainly some unearthed ground. It's just a 100 to 0. Because even Broken Blade got involved in that. With the pushback. That's just mass amounts of damage put down onto an ADC. Without any form of response. I don't exactly know how, if you're BDS, you'd respond to that play. Because your carry's just deleted. He used both summoners. He's just destroyed in that play. Wow. So yeah. There we go. Back to full speed. Whee! G2, I don't get that TP though, by the way, from Caps. I guess it's to clean top waves so they're not losing minions and they continue tempo into that tower, but it seems wasteful more than anything. But G2 secured themselves their second Drake. They get themselves 2 kills. It's a worthwhile play. I just don't think the TP was necessarily needed from Caps there. Because they're going to get another tower on bot side. You would have been essentially trading tower for tower. Though the gold wouldn't have really gone into anyone on BDS's side of things. Yeah, this is a fake replay. Because out of it we go. 3-man squad on top side. Azir actually puts a tower down, which is a good play. Empress Divide's good, but yeah. It's just 4 members overloaded in top side. BDS can't respond. They're just lucky Baron's not on the table yet. Because I'm pretty sure if it was, G2 would have immediately turned to it. So, as it stands, 19 minutes on the clock. BDS, I would say, are content. They're alright in this situation. Mid lane's a bit of a yikes, but bot lane's a bit of a haha, we're chilling vibe. So, realistically, mid, it's a battle between Caps and Ice in this situation. I would consider Ice quite far ahead compared to Caps. As the third item comes through, i.e. for this Lucian. Gonna be shredding through health bars to crit damage. Huge. And with the RFC, gonna be hitting from far away. Realistically speaking, BDS, they're happy to ride this one out, to be honest. They outscale, and they do so much more. Mickey's been constantly looking for them hooks, by the way. And that usually leads me to believe is that calling's massive. Shrelia's was used, Hands is deleted by Shao. Double kill over to this volley bear. G2 have no jungler and no ADC. Where's the damage going to come from? It has to come from Caps. Needs to step up. Needs to look. But this should be an easy secure of an objective. Smite is the only point of contest. Never mind. Broken Blade's deleted. And Mickey looks to be following suit as he is being chipped away. Blast cones to safety as he knows the Baron is no longer an objective for G2. As yet again, first Baron of the game goes to BDS. Let's just hope this time they know how to use it. They also have Herald bot. Did not notice that. Yeah. Mavis. My little doggy is just sat or sniffing my pillows, which is always good. Anyway, to summarize this play, the Cullen hurts. And it does enough damage to allow Sheo to just jump in freely and get the kill. Don't come on my lap. Whee! Got a little doggy on my lap now. Oh, Caps' dad. So enthralled by the game. So enthralled by the game. And watching his beloved G2 lose is unfortunate. You never really see G2's Caps' dad as G2 losers, as the pick comes through. They're gonna pop Labrov's health bar. Nami no longer there. The Imperial Mandate no longer a threat. And G2 look to secure a second, a shutdown onto Sheo as they're looking for more. Broken Blade on the backside of 3 members. He could be isolated, and indeed he's found this Lucian getting onto the backside, but he's got no support with him. Another kill goes over to Ice. 6, 1 and 4. Finally got himself a bounty. And this is a big threat to G2's game 2. Simple as that. Ice is very, very hard to deal with. Has got cleanse as this third Drake, if G2 secures it, is on the table. Sheo backs away. Isn't actually in range. Where is Sheo? Just not in the right position to go for a steal. G2 get to Soul Point. But will it matter? As BDS get to utilize their Baron, dropping the Azir tower in mid lane means that they can just sit at this tier 2, waiting for the cannon minions to crash in and shoot pew pew down this tier 2. They're also going to use the tidal wave there to force G2 off the tower, so big objective secure for BDS. They're also going to start to look towards this tier 2 bot as they send Nuke and Sheo down to the bottom side of the rift. Nuke obviously got ample wave clear, so he's just going to clear the wave, force it to crash in. G2 with it forces it in mid to clear out the minions going to be pushing into this inhibitor tower. And now BDS get to sit freely on the map. Another 2 minutes until the next Baron, as well as 3 minutes 30 to Cloud Soul if G2 won it. But that gold graph, man, absolutely insane. How much gold Ice has been gifted. It's as easy as that. G2 unable to shut this Lucian down more than once, as he's just been able to play quite freely. I'm surprised, to be fair, that this Nami went Redemption second and not Mikhail's. But the reason I say that is because Counter-Strike, obviously, you've got then the Zap from the Jinx, the Nautilus kit entirely, the Cassante also with his W. Having Cleanse is great and all, but having double Cleanse with Mikhail's just is a little bit nicer. I would have liked that instead of the Redemption. Obviously, you go Redemption to keep the rest of your team alive as well, as Nuke will be taking, you'd hope, a flying trip into the backline to Empress divide all of G2's squishy members into the Volley Gragas combination. But yeah, that's wishful thinking if you're a BDS fan. You're wanting that, but hey. We're not at that stage of the game just yet. Another 50 seconds until we possibly start to see another fight. Unless G2 just start to brawl with BDS out of nowhere. And that was starting to look like one as Yike counter-striked up his counterpart in Shao. So, Azir tower down once more. It feels like that tower's constantly up in mid lane. And it just never dies. Because that's the second time in the last minute or two that we've seen it. But BDS did get the tier 2 in mid. Already looking to put a bit more pressure down to the tier 3. And in fact, they're going to be hooked up. Nautilus goes in, utilizing the death charge, but he is immediately deleted as the killing spree comes through for the Lucian. On the backside of the fight, Broken Blade hunting for the volley bear, but just has not enough damage. Force flash out. BDS get the only kill of this fight. And with Baron on the table, G2's engage is lacking. The only real person that can get in is this Jax if he wants to go for stuns, but that's the only person. But G2 cannot contest this Baron. The second of the game going to go over to BDS. Instead, G2 probably not, maybe? Will they get the consolation prize of a couple of towers? Does not look like it. Instead, it looks like Caps is going to be caught out. Actually, he's turning himself onto a Dom. That's going to be explosive cast dodged away. And G2, what can you do? They look to catch out Shao as the volley bear forces flash out. BDS, the low health bar on their jungler, going to be slightly healed up by Nami. But no ulti, no flash. Is that no hope for BDS to take away this Hex Soul? I thought it was Cloud Soul here. G2 onto the Drake. Will there be a contest? Where is Yike? Keep an eye on this Jax. 4K on this Drake as G2 look to go in as they get onto the backside, but Ice is free firing in. He gets himself a double kill, make it a triple as 3 members of G2 fall. The Drake goes over and BDS, they find everything they want except the 2 carries of G2 who are forced to clear out waves, but they will not stop this push. BDS have the Baron. They can look to end this game, you have to feel here. Or can they? They should be looking at mid lane. Adom's there. Only one Baroned up minion going to be hitting that tier 3. G2 have done enough to kind of keep themselves in this game, but oh damn. That was a close one. But yeah, we watch this fight. G2 just try to go in. Mickey gets a good hook onto Ice, but the rest of the follow-up is lacking from G2, as they just cannot get onto them. It's a good usage of the Gragasol, I think, as well, as it denies any follow-up onto Ice, and G2 just can't delete the Lucian that's been a bane to their existence in Game 2. 10-1 and 4. It's GA also. He's pretty much full build. In fact, he is full build. This Lucian just unkillable in this situation. We're certainly going to a third game, which will GOL, because, you know, it's GOL, baby. We don't need to break down a pretty much a stomp. Game 3 is. Anywho, Game 2 wrapping up. Baron comes off of G2. The culling utilised here. Broken Blade taken low. That's going to force G2 away because they can't stand in front of this Lucian. Caps gets hit by the cask. Forces Zonya's Tidal Wave utilized. Sky Splitter used. Caps is down. That's game over. G2 can't really fight now. No more damage. Sheo's unkillable in this situation. This Gragas sitting quite healthily as well. He can go in if he wants to. But BDS are taking 2 inhibitors off of this plate. They could look for the end. Static Shiv gonna delete the minion wave. And BDS hunting. Broken Blade chipped away at. But BDS doing it by the numbers. They're going to look to delete all the inhibitors as they just step up. Another wave going to be responded to by G2. As that's going to be the possible engage. As they look to catch out Mickey. Ice is legendary and still alive. His J will be popped. But G2, they have been deleted as the Azir gets onto the backline. Yike finally shuts down the Lucian, but he's gonna be ran down as Game 3 is on the horizon. As G2 get stomped by Ice's Lucian. Ending the game, I'm pretty sure, 11-2 and a mass amount of assists as finally the assist comes through. BDS return the favour also. G2 slow to end game number 1 to allow Caps to get the penta. BDS do the same thing to allow the ace to come through. That's a 1-for-1 in terms of results as we head into GOL for game number 3. Hey, Papa. Thoughts on that game? Was that good? Yeah. You thought it was good. My little baby doggy. Just sat on my lap. Just questioning what the flip am I doing with this microphone. So yeah. GOL. Game number 3. And she wants more attention than what I'm giving my stream. Let's talk about it. Because without a doubt, the biggest stomp of playoffs, I'm pretty sure. Nothing more needs to be said about Game 3 than 21 minutes to finish it. And all that needs to be said is just look at the KP and the kill score. 11-0-4. Hansauer got fed, got full build realistically. Deleted Nuke several times, deleted Adam several times. This was the G2 masterclass on lane swapping, like Game 1, but better. That's all that needs to be said about this game. I think this goal graph says enough. That says enough. And then you look at the timeline. Well, the plates went in favour of BDS early. You just start to see the blue fill that timeline of events. And Hansauer getting involved in the game. That's all you need to know. The quadra kill to end out the game. Wait, they're not kills, they're objectives. So yeah, game 3, one-sided. Easy peasy, G2 got mad. So, let's go for game number 4. Oh boy. How long's game number 4? No, I didn't want to look at game 3. We've already broke down game 3. Yes, I know. How long is game 4? Let us look. 33 minutes. Half hour. Let's do this one at a brisk pace. I think. Because I'm starting to get tired. Hashtag subscribe. Hey. That is my microphone. You can't lick it. So, Game 3, stop. Game 2, relatively a stomp. Except it was close for a bit. Game 4, BDS blue, G2 red. Bans for Game 2 come through yet again. Rel banned, Zari Vi. Jinx this time removed by BDS. They're realizing Hansaba's potency on this pick. And in fact, the ADC pool has been cut considerably, which leads me to think we'll probably see BDS first rotation Lucian or Xayah and force G2 onto the weaker of the pair. Because you think about it, what is there left that's good? Kalista is up and available, actually. So Kalista may come through. Do I think that's a nice pick? I do think it's a nice pick with Blitzcrank maybe for Labrov. Yeah, I can see that. But the response from G2 has to be like big, so in this situation,
we are going to have a bit of a different game here.
I don't know.
We're going to see the same rerun as game
You
2.
kind of have to go
BDS
ADC here.
It's going to be volley into Lucy and
I
Navi,
think.
or if we're going to see the takeaway from the side of G2.
I don't necessarily associate Aphelios with Hansama, but he's certainly good at the pick. Jungle for G2 should come through here. Nautilus is up and available also. Rek'Sai, though, will be the takeaway. That was banned out in game number 2. BDS can respond, obviously, while not technically a flex pick anymore. G2 are flexing that Rek'Sai. BDS's response will be very interesting because they can go here, their own ADC. Rumble is a flex, and I like it because, well, technically G2 don't have to show where the Rek'Sai's going until 5. The Rumble keeps G2 guessing in terms of how BDS won draft. So I realistically think you'll drop till here, your support pick, and G2 are kind of forced to ban out either top laners or supports into 4-5. Ysir comes through for BDS here, and I think Caps has to now lock ASOL. Go for the repeat of game 1. Showcase the power of the pick, the scaling it has, and the out and out just power. It just makes so much sense to go here on the pick. Or Talia again. We're getting a repeat of game 2. Well, I don't necessarily think it was an issue with the game 2 draft from G2. I do think it just isn't as potent or as powerful as ASOL is in the meta right now. And I think Talia's kind of a waste. G2 banned a Lucian here. So that technically didn't ban Nami as well. Because you just remove the effectiveness of that champion. Nautilus should probably get banned out here. Yeah. G2, if they want engage, have to go like Khan. Looking at G2 draft also, they've still got technically jungle and support, so I'd maybe expect a Renata
3 weeks ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago, and it was not pretty. They tried to
out from BDS if that Rumble isn't going to support. But Xayah's also removed, so that kind of lowers Rakan's effectiveness. It's so weird, this G2 draft, I think. Because they lack engage. But they do have backline threat with the Rek'Sai. I mean, yes, it's probably going to be tank Rek'Sai, and it will probably have some effectiveness. But personally, I do think that you need some more front lane alongside it that can kind of cause hard engage for the team to allow the Aphelios to free hit.
There you go.
So,
Support is given
Sedge
as well. So maybe some kind of hard engage support or preserve
Come
half
on.
life
for
flex.
G2 wouldn't be too terrible here,
Give
I
me a
thought.
guess.
I think they should look at that jungle here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Smash the
it
volley
is a
there, you're
losing
gonna have
matchup
to
into
at
volley.
some point anyways, then you have,
Thinking about it,
an
would have been
option
nice.
when it comes to your
Instead, they're going to lock
support.
the Sion.
Love this, by the way.
And that's going to
Put Rek'Sai in the jungle.
mean that
Rek'Sai's
it's
a
Rek'Sai
monster
jungle?
pick.
I mean,
In
technically it
solo
could
queue.
go support.
Somewhere there's a riot, this
I
balance to sign out there.
think
like, yes, we
support
both did. They
Rek'Sai
picked
is
the
just
jungle.
not
It
that
didn't go
good.
top lane.
No,
We
So,
succeeded.
more likely
It's one of the
jungle,
highest win rate
unless
junglers in
it's
the game
jungle
in solo
Sion.
queue, but the problem
Jungle
is
Sion
that
is technically a thing,
often in pro play it comes down to
but
team fighting and
very
comes down
bad.
to, having some power to serve your character.
However,
in the late
it is
game.
a thing that
Rek'Sai
could
generally
have
not
come
the
through
strongest
here.
in doing that, but in the early game he can
BDS
match the volleyball to a certain
gonna
extent.
round
Kaiser
out that
Rakan
draft here. Kaiser Rakan, so Rumble's going top. Kaiser
Do you think they've been bullied into
in
doing
the
that?
poking
or was that the
ADC
plan?
role.
Not as oppressive this
It's a
time. Maybe
very
that's exactly what they're
front-loaded
Yeah.
It's
AP
quite
draft
interesting
from
with the Sion pick,
BDS
which
yet
might
again.
indicate full lane swap
Kaiser
again.
won't go for the
Sion
AP
into
build in
Rumble
this
isn't a
situation,
great
probably
isolated
no
matchup,
more
so
the
it is more of a
lethality
team
crit
composition pick,
builds,
and it's BB
so
saying
that
he's gonna be a
you're
team
not
player this time around.
necessarily
I mean, that Rumble got picked
over-indexing
so early,
into
they set up the
AP.
flex.
I
Just
love this. I love this from Mickey.
Volley
because it
AP,
sets up two
Rumble
scenarios where you
AP,
still have team
Azir
counter, where you have
AP.
the lane swap scenario going for you, but
These
even if
two,
you played it 2 versus 2,
field
you
day
now
with
win the
that
2v2
top
in
side
bot lane
map.
as well, because as
That's
a
all I'm
Rakan
gonna
player,
say.
If you've ever tried to play against Jenna, she destroys your life. You don't get to W in
G2
there. So
round
hard to
out their
find that
draft
engage.
with a
Even when you
Janna.
get into the mid to late game, you often have to rely on
I
flanks.
like
So
it.
Mickey now busting out
You're
a Janna,
kind
still
of
pairs up so
countering
well
the
with the affiliates that really allows you to
Rakan.
have multiple avenues covered.
I think this is what separates a
You're
good
also
team from a great
providing
one as
some
well. It
shielding
seems
and
like
healing,
BDS fought, they
so
knew what was
extra
coming.
sustain
Up
to
until
that
the
front
very
line.
end where the Rek'Sai is being flexed into the jungle, they pick
personally,
Janna to counter. All
I
the
prefer
hard engage
Mickey's
coming out of BDS,
Lissandra
all
as a
of
counter to
sudden,
Rakan's.
with the 4-5,
It's the
G2
out and out
finds
GOAT
themselves
classic
a really
counter
solid
pick that he
advantage going
has
into last game.
I mean,
to
Oh,
a
potentially
Rakan.
last game, sorry, I'm getting ahead
Because
of
you
myself.
just,
do you guys remember Nuke in the beginning of the
W
game
as
where he said,
Rakan
like,
jumps
"There's only so
forward
much
is
you can
such a
take from
lovely
this
pick
match.
to
There's so
play.
much creativity you can bring
Definitely
out."
something you should
Well,
try out.
newsflash, never say that against G2.
Never do,
But
indeed.
The drafts have
Wow,
rounded out for
unbelievable. I'm really
game
happy with the
number
way
4.
everyone was so excited
as
about this
these
draft.
two
I think it
teams
indicates how happy
look
we
to
are with
take
it.
this
So let's see if G2
series
closes it out right
on for
here,
one more.
right now, or if BDS bring us the
But
silver screen.
G2 win, they go through to their 5th consecutive final, I believe it is. It's an insane amount either way. Looking for another title to add to their trophy cabinet. It's game 4. We hit the rift.
And so they have to recover. I hope they reset. I hope they de-stress because it was a stressful one just even to watch. But going up against G2 who are on match point, let's not forget.
Now,
I said
for this
team
early game,
runs our
it's going to be
region.
quite
The team
interesting to
who in
look
spring playoffs
at
might have fallen, but
the
winter
Rek'Sai's
2023,
pathing, to be honest.
Summer 2023,
And
season
how
finals,
G2 play it.
2024 winter
Because
playoffs, all took
last time we saw a
championships in the last
Sion,
2 years. 4 out of those 5
that
championships
guy
we just
was,
mentioned were
well,
wins.
certainly not sitting in lane for long.
To go to the grand final
Will we see the
and
same
look
sort of thing?
yet
Because in
another.
game 1,
It
it
would
got
lead them up
punished.
to a very good grand
Gave
benching
over
into
first
Emma
blood
Dagger. I know
to
people talk
BDS,
differently about G2
whom are aware
internationally,
of this ward.
but I'm
So
still
early level
optimistic
2
for the
going to
time
come
being.
through for
Say that I'm impressed with what I saw
this
last game,
Kaiser
but let's not
Rakan
forget,
bot lane.
BDS challenged them in the first
No funny business
Rob, where would you like to
other
start?
than
Because
the fact that
you could go either
this
side,
Sion
I'd just be happy to talk
and
about it.
Janna
I don't even think
hovering
it's a
top
draft
side.
decision here. I think it's
Trying to
more
look
the
on
lane
my
swap
minimap
again coming
for
through for
where
G2 is the big one.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels
Han
like
Sama is.
our
fact.
BDS don't
The
really
interesting
know
thing is,
how to fully play
G2
against
are
this
well
strategy.
aware
So
Kaiser's
let's
on the
just try and
bot side
play
due
out
to that
the
ward.
early game where we're not giving it across.
Yes, it was cleared out, but
It's just the
who
strategy.
cleared it out?
Yeah, and I think
Well, it was the Kaiser and the
Adam is
Rakan.
going to suffer if
So
he falls
Han
behind
Sama
because it's against
just gets to
the
freely
A-top
step
team
up into the
of
top
you
lane,
wanna spike hard
knowing
in the
full
mid
well
game.
Kaiser
You are
is in
heavily
the bot
reliant
side.
on your damage
She's
to
also
be
started to push on that
to be
wave.
relevant.
As
Rob,
mid,
there's a flash.
Caps
uses
force
it
a
for
flash
stopping.
early.
You won't have that
Flash
much
is in an awkward
down.
position.
Bite my
He
tongue.
doesn't
Caps
get
gonna
to
be a
safety.
very strong
He's trying to join up with the rest of his
Well
team
done
as the
before.
Sand
Soldier
Soldiers
out
come
the
down,
front.
but the flash forward from G2, they
Target
catch out
the
LeBron for first blood.
G2 explode in the air like
Over
it's a
Chase City coming out from
That's the side
BDS,
of the map.
and
G2
they
are
get
strongest
punished
on
for
Lavrov,
it.
just wants to get that
Now
last
G2,
hit to get
this
the
is
kill, but
the play.
ends up giving that kill
This
across. Caps-
is
Caps
the
does TP back to
play.
mid lane as well.
I'm drawing a
Caps-
circle.
I know
The
this is-
level 1
and
play
again,
that Adam did so much last year. Just killed the enemy camps and then try and force the play under the tower. 4 members of G2 up here, and so many minions gonna die to this tower. This Rumble can't step up, and Lebrov's just come up here to give over a second kill. Flash comes through, Adam tries to play it safe, but he's down. As the Rakan falls, G2, they see another kill. Sheo gonna get one back. It's a 1-for-1 trade in the end. Maybe not. This is Volley playing on the edge. Not gonna be punished. Instead, G2 just gonna get a plate. Get so many minions denied. Sion's not even behind 2 at CSD. In fact, he's now about even. Considering the fact he just sat in the enemy jungle for the first 3 minutes of the game, whereas Sion at Rumble sat in lane. So yeah, there's that. Now, while that obviously happened, Ice was able to push in the wave. He's already got himself a decent CS lead as our top side. Lebrov's down again, baby. And this is what G2 wanted to do in game number 1. This time it looks so much better as Caps. I think he was trying to deny Raptor Seal. As Sheo avoids a Prey Seeker. Not even well aimed Void Seeker, to say the least, as Chase Down gonna come through. But Tunnel City, baby, is all I need to say about this Rek'Sai. The Fury gonna heal him back up as well. Bear in mind, we've seen a lot of lane Rek'Sai. You don't need to forget the fact that Jungle Rek'Sai is going to be a lot more potent. He gets a bit more farm compared to the lane one. You're not constantly having to trade your health with the enemy later. So he's going to be staying quite healthy for quite a lot of it, as Lebrov going to get hit here by the Hurricane coming out from Janna. That's why you picked Janna, to kind of deny that knock up from the grand entrance. So as a whole, BDS in an awkward situation, to be honest. G2 getting early kills, 4-1 on that kill score. 6 minutes on the clock. Nearly, what, it's about 5. Or he's going to be favourable instead. Now we're just watching this. First Grub going to be smited away by Yike. Now the awkward situation is he does not have another smite, so he can't stick around to steal them. He also realises Volley's early game trading so strong, so he's not going to stick around, not going to get punished, and instead G2 going to be content with taking a Grub away. Gonna not allow the full stack to come through. So yeah, there's that. And they're actually looking topside. Slow coming through from the Zephyr into Graviton route. Red white do not fight, and the Dom somehow retreats to safety. The scrap shield could keep him alive, but he's forced off another wave, and that CSD gonna start to suffer even more. This Sion, bear in mind, does not care about CS. He's happy to just tank it up and get health so that he can just be a frontline big boy for his team. So, whereas, yet again, BDS have a carry in the top side. And that's an issue, because he needs gold as mid lane. And the Emperor's Divide gonna be avoided. Caps doesn't even dodge it. They're looking to trade back into new health bar of this Azir. Just gonna be deleted as bot side. We're finally seeing this Sion into Rumble matchup and how favourable it is for the Rumble, because it just gets a free push. Whereas Broken Blade gonna back on a ward. Maybe not, he's sticking around.
which means that now Hansam and Mickey get to rotate bot, and that's where the objective
Now
is
he's
once more.
obviously
They're gonna
going
look
back to a
towards
bit
Dragon
more of a
because
safe
they get the
location where
push
he
on the
can
bottom
back.
side. So Adam,
Adam should be aware
gets
that he
to
is
burst
just
away.
changed
He
location
knows
for back.
that the G2 bot lane is somewhere in this
And
vicinity.
as Hansama shows up, Adam has to play it back, play it cool, play it safe, not get caught out. And G2's objective trading comes through because they rotate their strong side to the bot side. Drake gets started. Adam's forced to go back to base as his strong side is on top half the map. Now Sion just runs it down to the mid top lane, gonna ult in, trades his health bar to clear out the wave, and he's sticking around tanking a bit more extra from his Kaiser, which he really didn't need to, but hey, he's fine with it, he's content. Obviously, zombie passive will mean that he can just stay a bit longer, and now G2 hunting for a Dom, flash out from this rumble, avoids the seismic shove. Overall, that's a summon a burnt for an ulti. I think that's worthwhile for G2, because as this game goes on, minute till Void Grubs, Rumble going to be less potent in that play. And the big thing is, G2, because they go for that play, they keep Adam in vision, meaning he can't rotate without being forced to burn something. And while that play is going on, he's essentially allowing G2's bot lane to just free firing into this tower, and they're denying minions yet again. Now this play, BB will fall, Sky Splitter out, he's the volley bear doesn't really have to worry about dying, but BB's goes zombie. He's still able to clear out the wave and get CS. Adam's just being frozen off it. That's the second wave to crash in that he's unable to get any of. And here's the thing. Equalizer is available. I'm going to keep circling it. He could have got a bit of farm for quite a short cooldown. And he doesn't. Instead, he gives it up, and now G2, well, they're aware the grubs are going on. They're giving up the 5 grubs for first tower, so the immediate gold versus a bit more pressure in terms of objective pushing. I think G2, the big reason G2 are fine with this trade is because they're dictating the map tempo right now. And I don't like saying tempo a lot, because it's a hard thing to explain to people who don't understand League. And tempo, in this case of this game, is G2's bot side. Their bot side dictates the tempo. Well, their side lanes is a better way to word it. It's the bot and top lane. Whichever the bot lane is has the tempo. As you start to see members, including this Talia, path up to top side to punish the weak side of BDS. And because it's the weak side, it forces the volley bat up here, as we're already seeing Mickey getting jumped on. It forces the response, and Mickey gets out scot-free. And here's the big thing, because G2 have gone for basically tanks in jungle and top, they don't necessarily have to care too much about the CSD. Instead, they just have to play frontline so that their carries, who are constantly getting eco, can just continue to stay ahead. As Caps goes a bit too aggressive, some may say. This President Shove gonna land onto 2, but G2 don't overstay. Nuke has no Emperor's Divide. And as such, G2 lose out on the trades, but I think they're happy with that, because Broken Blade, left alone on bot side, gonna push the wave into the tier 2. Where's Adam?
deny the wave away from
Where
Adam.
is Adam?
And BB once more 2 levels up
Oh, he's
on
top
his
lane.
lane opponent because he's
Adam's
constantly
top lane.
Exactly. He's
So it'll be
constantly
okay.
getting the CS.
I mean, he's
constantly
just
being allowed to
resetting the
farm
wave that G2
into
pushed in.
Ice. So yeah, Ice has a little bit
And
of
he's still in
there.
He's
He's
still in a 2v1 lane. So it's technically, well, no. Nuke's gone bot side, so G2 are ahead of tempo. BB's reset and is heading top. Because his wave's going to crash into tier 2. His bot lane going to possibly get a couple of plates. He's also responding to the possible overcommit by BDS, looking to kind of stop G2's inevitable outscaling. Because obviously
the thing is though,
scales,
he's
Felius,
using that on the top
it's
wave
3
to clear
items,
the wave.
he's
Actually,
just
this
a
still
menace.
may be a dive.
Oh, they stop Ice's back.
That's Ice's back stopped, and that should be a dead ADC. The Silent Charge is going to hit the tower, but it's inevitably going to be BDS responding to the play. Mickey already incredibly low as he gets Killer Instinct on. It's 2 kills over to BDS. You're going to get 1 traded back, but he's being ran down by Ice yet again. It's a double kill over to BDS ADC. G2 overcommit, some may say, to this play, but BDS respond well. That's the better wording for it. BDS respond well to GDS.
On the setup and it ended up costing them.
G2's play.
Adam had used his ult equalizer top. He had to
Broken
reset,
Blade
go catch bot, and Nuke was going to
looking.
have to transfer himself into the
I'm
mid
going
lane.
to
Caps
deny
could have had that
this
push in
slide.
mid, but
This
because
play
they don't
overall
wait
is looking to be a
for
4-man
that
dive onto the
process to
team
take
members.
place, Adam is able to
TP's come
TP
through
immediately back into the top wave.
from
You get a
BDS
great
quick enough
engage from Labrov
that,
onto Hansam and
as
Mickey
well as
well,
Labrov getting a
to
really
keep
good
him
charm,
set up. And
it
Caps
means
isn't
that
in position
BDS is
as 4
responsive
members of BDS
TPs,
set up. So
as
yeah,
well as
Shale is
roam
slowly
ups
making
from
his
this
way here,
volley
but this
bear.
ends up as a 4 versus
Just
4
are super
power dive
effective.
on the strong side
Actually,
of the
volley
map
bear
because
wasn't even
that's where
involved, it was
Ice
just a
is
straight
for
4v5
BDS.
that BDS went out on. It seemed like as soon as G2 got the TPs, I hate to say it, but you could have honestly just left Sam to charge in. I mean, he probably would have been ran down and killed. But to be fair, charging on tower does a bit damage. You get what, multiple TPs out from BDS. I think that would be more worthwhile in terms of controlling tempo, because then you could obviously have sent. Pretty sure that TP would have been available at the time, but you could have just sent Sam to the bot side. He could have crashed into tier 2. The response from BDS may have been volley roaming down to the bot side to respond. But even then, the play still would have been a bit scuffed for BDS because they would have overcommitted top side, whereas G2 could just play the rest of the map.
And also, the setup from Labrov
Actually,
is going
no.
to be key for BDS if they
No,
want to try
what
and
am I
fight
on
back
about
against
BD,
G2. You have the Rip Tail there, but you're going to have to look for these engages with Labrov.
Bot
Find ways
side,
to get
he
rid of
wouldn't have
Mickey. The desk highlighted
been
how
able
good
to
the
because he
Janna
would have
is
been in
at
a chase.
keeping the Rakan at
That
bay
being
with
said,
ult, with
the
how he
Rakan
goes,
knockup,
with
if he
everything in their
dodges
system
that,
to just keep
it would have then
engaged off of
forced
your
the charm
carries.
out.
But if you can find this control in mid where you
You
can shove it
realistically
in,
think
start
about
to
it.
set up vision,
The
force
Emperor's
the angles of
Divide,
attack for Labrov.
and then
This is where BDS can
Rakan,
find
W,
their
and
success,
Charm.
'cause this is now
And
the
realistically,
goalie
the only
drifting
ways
back
to
into an even state.
kill
BDS, thanks to
BB's
Rip
chances
Tail,
of escape.
actually have some
As
control
a
of the
wall
map.
comes through here, that's Labrov and Ice rooted in place. BB flashes on top of this Kaiser and she gets shut down. Labrov next to full, and that is just G2 cleaning up the bottom laners. And what a wall from Caps there,
And it's just before
as it
BDS
just
were
does
about to
not
get their ball
allow
top wave in
the
order.
Killer Instinct to
They
get
immediately look for
Ice
the
to
play on mid,
safety.
and Ice just a little bit too far forward, didn't have the flash, and gets punished
BDS.
incredibly well by
Wow.
G2. And
So
as
we
I
take
say,
a look at
you're
it.
about to get control
Just
of the
look
map
where
here for
Caps
BDS.
is.
They're pushing out
So
bot, they're gonna
far.
move the rumble
Comes
and
in,
the volley
Ice
into
has
the
no
mid lane,
escape.
and
And look
G2
how
attacks
I'm gonna go
before
back
BDS get
quick.
into position as Ice goes a little bit too far
To
forward and has nowhere.
essentially the start of this. Just look how well G2 space it. So Caps comes through. The wall, Ice is in a situation where he can't flash because he doesn't have it. So G2 know the summoner's down. And then
The rumble
just
and
look.
the volley into
Caps
mid
moves back. That is a huge thing because, and while yes, technically the Emperor's Killer Instinct would have been good to get Ice over the wall, because Caps moves over here, the range of the Killer Instinct probably is about that. So, obviously, I can't draw a circle well, but Ice can't get over this wall. So he is stuck here. And so BB knows his job is to stop Ice's escape as he TPs in. That is the simple way of wording this. So as we resume,
And G2
comes in,
before BDS
he doesn't even flash. He just knocks up Ice, gets the shutdown, and G2 content. Labrov, while yeah, he's quick missing out, he doesn't charm up BB, so it means that his ADC dies, there's no escape, and Roman is very content with how well that play worked out. Simple as you like. G2 in a good position. Now, Adom realizes topside, bit of a bad place to be, so he equalizes the wave. This tier 1, not gonna fall because the wave gets cleared out. However, there's a Scion charging through and they're hunting G2 spot out at Dom. Janna's here and the Tempest are landing. The Q not gonna land from Broken Blade. And the Dom 07's in chat. Gets ran down and deleted. The caveat of the play though for G2 is they lose 2 towers, the mid and bot side. So BDS going to open up that mid lane, means that they can enter the jungle, get a bit more deep vision down. Instead though, G2, they get their own tower on the top side, more minions denied from BDS, and yeah, somehow a Scion has a 2k gold lead over a Rumble. And it's early game, baby. That really does tell you something about how much G2 are putting that on behind. Now, I've prefaced it before when we talk about Adom and how you beat BDS. You put the top laner in a bad situation. Adom's the catalyst for BDS's plays. And G2 realize it. So the lane swap meta was designed to keep top laners irrelevant and the ADCs in a more prevalent position. But as the game shifted away from lane swaps, it means that essentially top laners have a bit more impact. The likes of the Aatroxes, the Fioras, back in the LCK could come in and take over games. But now, with them champions falling out of favour except for Aatrox, that's always been in favour in the eastern regions. Essentially, BDS can't do anything. This carry Rumble, while designed to try and get BDS ahead, just cannot do so. Because it's been put in such an awkward position that it's having to give up farm, and you have to then realize the use of the equalizer would have been huge, because then he would have been able to pick up so much of the burnt CS in that bot lane, the top lane. Because right now he's behind so much CSD, and G2 realize that this Rumble is not a threat. So they can step up into the river freely without a contest and can start to look to contest. The equalizer was dropped down, and that's actually going to force this Aphelios into a bad situation against the Kaiser. It's going to be Drake also secured by BDS as the double kill comes through to Ice. The chase down looks to continue through as Caps force flash away as Mickey, quite low, gonna be jumped on. He flashes safety as well. G2 lose their Scion and their ADC as the Baron spawns. Will BDS get this objective? Rek'Sai is up and alive, hunting. The flash from Labrov going to be denied, and that's going to be the kill over to G2. Tunnel used by Yike will not allow him to get into the pit. He has no escape tools either, so yeah, Baron goes over to BDS, and while you may say a failed flash was the cause of his death,
But this doesn't feel like a
Labrov
50-50
did
when
enough
it
to
comes these
deny
team fights.
Yike
Ice is a
any
monster,
form of
stepped away from BB. The
way into
ult,
that
the
pit.
interrupt onto
But this
Labrov
is
doesn't
just,
matter 'cause
hands
Ice
down,
immediately just walks
I think we need to talk about the position in here. And how BDS actually navigated this play. Firstly, I want to point out the equalizer. People may say that's a bad equalizer because you could dropped it here and hit 3 members and ticked away at their health bar. The reason it's a good one is it was dropped on Hansama, firstly, and he's forced to leave the thing. He steps towards the top side so you can play range from that death ball. Instead, what it ends up happening is he steps closer to ice. Now, already a chunked health bar from Aphelios and a full burst combo, an isolated burst combo, maybe for 1 or 2 Qs that land onto Broken Blade. It's still a very good position for Ice to just delete Hansama. And give me 2 seconds. Can't be having a crying dog in the back room. But anyway, Hansama just gets deleted because he's forced into a bad situation against Ice. Though isolated 1v1, while you would think it would favour the Aphelios, you just look, blue-purple guns. Yeah, no, that's not a winning situation for Hansama. Especially into Isaiah, who can just... Sorry, Kaiser, who just has full burst and shield. Yeah, there's no real outplay there for him, so he just gets deleted. Bottom half to play, Broken Blades just running it down into Adam, and he realizes he's not in a good enough position to peel for Hansama, even though he's trying to, so he just then realizes he's in a bad place and just gets deleted. The isolated Akathian and range just do so much damage. The ice just deletes another health bar, and BDS get 2 kills and Baron. That's the way that play went.
You know what? Like, I was gonna say, Dagda, the Kaiser build needs to be
I'm just realizing I've had that unmuted for so long. Jeez. Bad streamer. Very bad streamer. Anyway. As it stands, Baron on BDS for next minute 50. G2 hunting for a pick. Almost going to get Labrov. They will, however, not get that Rakan because he has dodges for days. And now, BDS setting up their split push. Trying to allocate lane assignments. Dom yet again in the mid lane. This is the 4-1 they went to in their win. Except this time, a little bit more fruitful, as they've got a bit more damage. Dom's cut that gold lead in half, and G2 in an awkward place where they've got to send 5 members to the bot side. Dom's getting free push, and that tier 2 is going to fall in mid. Never good. And so now you're thinking, how did G2 play this fight if there is one to happen? Well, firstly, they've got to go over and clear out the vision. Right now, there's a ward that's sitting in a place that's not too good for them. So they clear it out, and it means that they can retreat course pathing as the equalizer dropped here. Yike getting chipped away at. Will heal up a little bit if he lands them Prey Seekers. I'm realizing there's Void Seekers and Prey Seekers in this game. That's not a good combination of ability names. But yeah. Taking a look at it, Dom's cut that gold lead quite a lot, thanks to that tier 2 pickup. And so he's now Only down about 500, so a component. So he'll probably have a decent item. Don't like Riftmaker second. In this situation, looking at G2, I think Rylai's would have been better. More than anything. Because the comp that G2 have, they want to run at you with the Scion and the Rek'Sai. Talia also wants to be able to run at you coming in from flanks with the wall. So just having the ability to drop a slowing ulti on someone's head, like the Aphelios, who's low mobility, like the Janna, who, while technically has extra movement speed in her kit, is also quite low mobility. I would much rather have seen that than Riftmaker in this scenario. Just because you can then roast away at their health bars without too much of an issue. Now, what I'm also noticing is items on this Kaiser. I'm pretty sure he's going IE with the cloth. Not a cloth. The cloak. As second Infernal Drake picked up for BDS. Nuke's just split pushing on his own. Show's forced to turn up to protect his carry as that Leandri's burn onto Mickey's quite a lot. Below 50% of his HP. And now G2 kind of have to give up the bot lane tier 2. Can't stick around. And this is good macro on the side by BDS. Their tower dropped. No Baron left on them, but they're still controlling the map. They're still making it hard for G2 to step up. Even though Cap's freely sitting on side lanes, doing work. Only a 200 gold lead in that mid lane for Nuke. And that's a testament to how well Caps has kind of done in terms of CSing, keeping it relatively even. Also the extra kill, his back pocket. And Caps has been untouched in this game, to be honest. Not really done too much in terms of investing the ulti in team fights, because he hasn't had to. The big play obviously was G2 catching out the bot lane of BDS, as Baron is back on the table. BDS started up on spawn. There is no wards for G2 in this pit, and they're trying to get the TP out from Broken Blade. It's dropping. The Baron will fall. G2 unable to contest. The blue trinkets will spot it out. So G2 are now forced to look for the fight. Cheryl forces Sky Splitter away as G2 join up for the play. Scion, incredibly tanky, just going to stand in front of him as he cancels Nuke's escape. Rek'Sai goes to the backside and they're looking. G2 catch out Labrov. Immediately it's going to be a dive into the backside as Kaiser finds the kills. She's there. She's deleting them. G2 are being shut down. But Nuke also falls on the backside. It's a triple kill over to Ice, and he's hunting. He spots out Yike. Could not get him. The Quadra is technically on the table, but will not go over. And another Benny Hill theme moment as Yike is just running for his life. Shao should probably have to give up the chase here. But Q-Lan, no, he doesn't get the Q. Instead, Yike gets away to safety, but BDS getting themselves a tier 2 on the top side. Wait, maybe not. Yike isn't out just yet. Anyway, we take a look at this play. Labrov's jump gets cancelled, so G2 think they can fight. But Shao tanks up the initial engage from Scion, so he's not able to run in. Then it's just a bit of trading here and there. And this is the inevitable full go signal for G2. It's the fact that they denied the dash from Nuke. So he can't get to safety to free fire. So this forces, well, not forces. This is the go signal for Yike to go in and go for a dash and get onto the backside and do damage. But on the other end of it, Labrov sets up Ice as he gets a massive grand entrance, knocking up Hansama and Caps. Perfect targeting, and he charms them. Simple as. While he dies, the stack is laid, and Ice sees the go signal, chunks out Mickey, so he's forced to shield himself. So the protection for these carries is non-existent. Yike and Broken Blade, well, not Broken Blade, Yike just dies, he's burnt to a crisp, as Nuke just pops his Zonyas. Pretty easy fight for him, don't have to do much. And as he pops out, Biddity Buggity Boo, Flash, Empress Divide, Killer Instinct to reposition to allow the easy execution, Mickey's down, Caps is in a bad place, Hans is dead, everything comes up BDS. The triple kill for this Kaiser really should tell you that this game should be going to BDS. A second Baron in their back pockets. Already a 3.2k advantage, but G2 are hunting and they look to catch out Adam. So much damage being put down as the Silent Q gets avoided. On the other side of things, it's going to be a dead Yike yet again. Labrov uses his ultimate for this. G2 not exactly investing too much on their own side. Only Sion and Talia ult. They still have access to this Janna, Aphelios, and technically the Rek'Sai ult when he respawns. But G2 cut the wave. They will get themselves the mid lane tier 1. But what's the trade back? Tier 3 in the bot side. Taking a bit of damage. Tier 3 in the mid. Next to be targeted by BDS. This one will fall. As Caps is caught out, the seismic shove comes through. Nuke taking a bit of damage in response. BDS, have they overstayed? G2 hunting. Yike knocks into the air the Azir, but look at the flank. Caps has found his way into the backside. He has got access to the wall, and G2 looking to punish. They catch out a Dom as Yike falls on the other side, but Nuke this time has no escape. He is deleted where he stands. Soul point to whoever gets this Drake. As G2 looking for it, they secure the objective bounty, and the fight continues as Aphelios kills off Sheo. Labrov ults himself out to safety, but there's a wall that does not let you through. Caps is here, poking, prodding away, shutting down Ice. G2 secure the ace and deny BDS the comeback into this game. Take a look at this play. Caps TP's in behind, and you know he's got access to this wall at any point of this fight. G2 could have looked for the inevitable big fight here, and I think they were looking to. Caps wanted to seismic shove them, but G2 realized they can just poke and prod away at BDS in this situation, because BDS already have a low Azir. He's got no way to escape, and it's a shutdown. So G2 would get a massive influx of gold. Plus the Drake is up. BDS want that. So G2 poke. They harass. They utilize their abilities and hunt. BDS realize it. A Dom drops his ulti to try and slow them down. But what ends up happening is he's hit by a Tempest, then a Q3, and just is decimated by Broken Blade. While Yike goes in, he is quite squishy even though he's built a bit tankier. He's buying time for his team to execute off the Rumble. Nuke enters status. He's going to die as soon as he exits it. Boom. Thanks to some unraveled earth from Caps. Drake gets secured, and now the continuation of the play can come through. This is BDS overcommitting. too greedy, to be honest. They think they can fight here because they have Labrov on a flank. He can come through, quickness onto these three, and get a play. Sheo can Sky Splitter, become unstoppable, and get a Drake steal. That's the play for BDS. Ice is there for damage. That's his play. He has Killer Instinct if he wants to reposition. Anyway, let us continue forward. Sky Splitter, too late. Drake gets secured by Aphelios of all people. That's the surprising thing. Not even Yike. Actually, Yike's dead. So yeah, there was no smite on G2 side. They just get really lucky. It's a mistimed smite from Sheo. G2 now just delete the volley because they can. He's just suicide playing. But because Ice and Labrov stuck around, this is the issue for BDS, the overcommit. They didn't technically need to be there for the play. I mean, honestly, they could have wrapped around and then jumped over the wall if you are BDS, but no, they get caught. And it's just Caps poking him down, innit? He does too much damage. G2 shut him down. Soul point earned. And now it's very hard for BDS to step up. Bear in mind, this game, Ice has no cleanse. So if he is tagged by a Decimating Smash, by a Prey Seeker, G2 are on top of him instantaneously. And he has no escape. His flash is down for next follow-up play. G2 are hunting, looking to kill him off. He has got GA this time. He's on 4 items. So is Hansama, to be fair. Even though there's a 2k gold lead over 2 Ice, the items are relatively the same. BDS now are in an awkward place where they need to get this Baron to try and push to win. G2 happy to sit on sides. They don't need to secure this because Sion's unkillable. They are in a position to contest as Yike getting jumped on. He's been trading on with Labrov, but in comes Caps. He's looking to deny backs as a smite steal comes through as Yike secures it. He doesn't care anymore as G2 get onto the backside of Felios, secures the first kill of the fight as Rumble falls. Nuke is down. G2 winning the fight as well. They don't even need to. They were pushing on sides. Broken Blade could have stayed there, but instead he joins up with the team. The sacrificial plays throughout this series from the Sion top master. He's just playing it to perfection. Tanking up the tower right now because who cares? He's not even going to use the Demolish proc. He's saving it. And G2 on the warpath. This tower will fall. The inhibitor will fall. This game looks to be all said and done. One last stand needs to come through from BDS as Yike takes quite a big chunk from his health bar as a reposition comes through, but it will not matter. BDS won't make the final stand. G2 secure the series 3-1. An interesting series to say the least. I think that's the best way to word it. G2 brought back lane swap meta and showcased its usefulness against BDS, I think. Adom has always been the catalyst, the guy for BDS to get them rolling. And when he's unable to play a game, you certainly see it in the results. Ice, while he had a phenomenal series, just couldn't get it done on his own. As the rest of his team could not keep him relevant, I think is the best way to word it. And G2 just plowed through him. double tanks is a very hard thing to deal with. And I think MSI is going to have an interesting meta with G2 bringing this style. I think... I think. I'm pretty sure. When you look at some of the other teams going to MSI, you've got Gen G, you've got Team Liquid. These teams tend to have relatively solid top laners who can catalyst and build it up for the rest of the team, even if, yes, Gen G could use Chovy, but Gen G tend to flop on the international stage. But yeah, I think this style G2 showed is interesting. Overall, bear in mind, G2 don't really give a crap about spring. If you think about it, they've already got MSI secured, season finals secured. There's not much really left for them to do, like, for the start of the year. So these splits mean nothing to them. It's funny, but true. Once you win winter, you don't need to care. And so trying new things like this against BDS and winning is a good sign for Europe. And teams need to be careful on an MSI. If this is the G2 you get, the team that can giveth and taketh, like we saw in the second game, it's certainly, well, even then, that second game wasn't necessarily out of reach for G2. They certainly did get outscaled. But yeah, that's going to be it for this best of 5. I am tired. I still am recovering from a long cycle home. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me. If you enjoyed it, leave a like down below. I'm going to go watch some hockey. See you guys later. For predictions for semi-finals, do we do it now or on Friday? Decisions, because it's Fnatic BDS. I was so close to seeing Vitality. I want to do a video for that. So I'll see you guys for that. Peace out.